Okay, let's see if this is working. Oh, is there a horrible delay? I can't tell if there is or not. Good evening, Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday the 7th of February 2026. Hopefully you're all doing well, and Poppy's having a move around already. You settled now, Pops? I think she is. Can you hear me and or see me? Both would be ideal. No delay here. All right, I'm watching the OBS feed. Normally I have it on the screen behind me, but I'm getting pissed off having to look around all the time. So I've just got it on this screen here. So I'm experimenting. We're doing things a little bit differently to see how things can be improved or changed. Stream looks and sounds good, says Aletta. Thank you very much. Yeah, all good my end, says Rick. Thank you, Rick. Hello to Greg. Hello to Welly Bob. Hello to Senrab and Co. Jason as well. How you doing, Jason? Lemoyne 75. Thank you. David Thompson. How you doing, David Thompson? Thank you, by the way. Michael Ellingham. How are you? Jason Westaway. How you doing? Yep. Looks like it's all good. Captain Cave's in the house as well.
Catch up on the super
Good,
chats.
good. Yeah, we've got some super chats coming already, so we'll quickly address those. If I can actually find them on the screen, which I should do. Oh my god, that's blinding me. Disco, Ugly Bob tribute. Thank you very much from Dave Aiken for your £2 donation. Much appreciated. And there's also a party from Rick. Unfortunately, the super chats now, there's like a weird contrast. Let me see if I can show you the screen. Stream desktop, yeah. Can you see the contrast on those things? It makes it so that I can barely read the name when they're highlighted. Hopefully you can see what I mean now. Anyway, oh, that proves that one's working. Oh, the colour balance has gone a bit weird. Is overhead working? Yeah, that seems to be working fine. Got our warm drink, our tasty beverage, got our keyboard. We're all good. And oh, they're coming in thick and fast tonight. From Mickey Woods. Thank you very much, Mickey Woods. Okay, let's get the super chat done and I can concentrate on opening this bottle of beer. Good to see you back in, Mike. Hope you are well. Yeah, I'm not too bad. Thanks for asking. I'm still having these weird dizzy spells every now and then. I don't know what's going on. My blood pressure seems to be okay as far as I can tell. My blood sugars appear to be fine as well. So I have no idea. Maybe it's just an anxiety thing. Who knows? It's a strange world we live in, so we battle on. I'll do my best. I did have a shit night's sleep last night. I was tossing and turning for what seemed to be hours and hours trying to get to sleep. I just couldn't shut down last night. I don't know why. I was making an interesting video yesterday, or at least trying to. It did take a little bit longer than normal because of not feeling great. Yeah, I did a teardown of the Synology NAS and like a thorough cleaning video and kind of a deconstruction and reconstruction video, and that took a lot longer than expected. It wasn't great. So yeah, that I finished about 11 o'clock-ish, I think, last night. And yeah, I was like 2:30 in the morning, still thinking, please just let me go to sleep. I didn't even feel tired. I was tempted just to come back downstairs and start doing some more video work because I just had no intentions of sleeping. And then I guess about 3-4 o'clock I must have drifted off at some point. But yeah, so I'm feeling a little bit worse for wear today after limited sleep, but that's life. We have to make do.
Another one.
Semrab says, love that mug script, lol. What mug script? What was that?
Dad who has a...
Oh, right, yeah. Thank you very much to Damar007. Thank you very much for your 50 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much. That is awesome, thank you. Thanks for all you do, Mike and Kath. You're the only YouTuber I know who engages so much with his subscribers. Do you know what? It's funny you should say that. Me and Kath were having this similar sort of discussion a little bit earlier on. Was it earlier today or was it yesterday? I can't remember.
Today.
It was today. And
Sorry, I'm getting...
yeah, I know what it was. We were discussing this engagement with the viewers. The fact that we were trying to find out a way that Kath can also edit or kind of control the chat and clear the screens and all that kind of stuff in a simple way. ideally, it'd be great if Kath could screen share my OBS window. I think that would be useful, but yeah, I couldn't think of a way which it would work simply. So, yeah. The fact that we do go the extra mile to try and engage with our viewers. And I watch quite a lot of streams, and there are very, very, very few YouTube channels or YouTubers or content creators as such who actually take the time to talk to their viewers and their subscribers and stuff. So, yeah, we do.
None of them have assistants that enlarge the text.
Oh, yeah.
In advance.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Arali. Very much appreciated. Arali sent a PayPal donation, £30. Thank you so much. It says, my first super chat of 2026. Good to see you doing a live stream. Take care, Mike and Kath. Regards, Arali. The friendly AI man. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. It's your donations are awesome. And at the moment, with the economic climate as it is, it's even more appreciated, both for you donating and for us, because it's yeah, it helps keep the lights on. Because YouTube views have gone down the absolute toilet. Obviously,
Almost half.
the yeah, we're literally at kind of half the views that we had previously, and those views were already about 25% down. So yeah, YouTube viewership at the moment, obviously because of everything that's going on, you've got the economics, you've got the RAM apocalypse, you've got the GPU apocalypse, and basically the lack of interest. So the videos are getting a lot fewer views than they would normally, which is unfortunate, but I completely understand. So if you are one of the regular subscribers or one of the newbies to the channel, and you at some point feel guilty for not watching our content, don't feel guilty for not watching our content, because I completely understand. I've actually got into watching car fix-it videos recently and other science videos and stuff, because the tech world is a bit shit. Let's be fair. It's not been great. And unless there is some kind of major controversy, it's hard to get excited about computer components these days. Now, don't get me wrong, I still do love tech, and it's weird for me because PC building, PC repair, this whole kind of thing is my hobby, but it's also my job, which is kind of like a weird thing. So I don't know where the hobby begins and the job starts, or the job starts and the hobby ends.
That all needs to change.
We need to kind of work on that a little bit. I need to get another hobby maybe. So I don't do computers as a hobby, but I don't think I could go down to the local Downland asshole and learn some photography. No, that's too close. Anyway, where was I going with this conversation? Oh yeah, don't feel guilty if you don't watch the videos. Honestly, I completely understand, it's great. If you can spare a few minutes and just put a video on, leave a comment, that's excellent. And I know a lot of you do. When we release the videos on a kind of a regular basis, which we're trying to get back into a little bit now, potentially we might be starting back with the daily video releases, at least the 5 days a week, and the Saturday live stream. Although with the Saturday live stream, potentially we might either reduce the time span, so it's a shorter stream, or do it every 2 weeks rather than every week. Because it's really difficult trying to find things which I feel are interesting for you all to watch and listen to and engage with. If you don't mind just doing like questions and answers, then yeah, maybe we can do that. But it's just, it seems to be very much kind of the same old. Tell us what you want to see, what you want to do, and we will try to accommodate. Obviously, we have to also be somewhat mindful of the YouTube algorithm, so we can't stray too far outside of our lane, because otherwise we will get punished for it, which, to be honest, we do get punished anyway with our video content, because we do a wide range of things, not just tech. We do also kind of home automation stuff, or at least we used to do. We do a little bit of car stuff now and then as well, and yeah, just anything which kind of takes my fancy. And we do seem to get hammered for that. YouTube only wants us to do maybe a certain type of video, like we only, well, our best views seem to be around about Fitbits and iPhones and things like that. So anything to do with phones and kind of fitness products seems to be the ones which YouTube likes and promotes for us, which I don't really like doing those very much, because it's not very new and not very exciting, and it's kind of, we've been there, done that. So yeah, YouTube have weirdly pigeonholed us in a weird place that we don't really want to be. But
Talking
anyway,
conspiracy, nothing.
yeah,
Not because of that.
who knows?
Did you finish the last thing off about the ABS and stuff? Did I interrupt with a super chat?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. With the OBS thing, going back to that, if any of you got any idea of how I can have it so that I can run OBS on my screen here with the YouTube Studio chat open, and also Kath can interact with that, and I can. The easiest way I can think of is like PC Anywhere, that type of thing. So Kath can kind of dial into my computer so she sees my screen, almost like a virtual PC, that kind of thing.
So instead of me having to keep clicking on my screen to show him,
Yeah,
to take down notices, I can just do it.
that would
Put
be
questions
that'd
on
be
the
good.
screen for him to answer.
Real VNC says 0 defects. Yeah, maybe that's an idea. Gary says, I look forward to the streams, especially in the winter. It makes my Saturday afternoons. Thank you, Gary.
There's a few above that are saying what they want.
Michael says, I don't mind the Q&A. Good stuff. 0 defects says, I seem to remember a potential live RAM test. Yes, that still is something which needs to be done. The RAM testing is a hard one to do because I don't know how. I would need another PC frame at least set up here and then have that feed into the screens, but also for me to be able to see the feed as well. Again, that's another thing which I was talking to Kath about earlier, because this whole room setup, it's functional, we can get by, it works, but it isn't easy. There's things about it which annoy me, like I would love to have that screen there. So I've got a screen like almost near the camera, but that I could actually see it, and also have the feed information. So ideally I want two screens in front of me, but it's hard to do. And also,
I think they would come out on the camera.
Yeah, they probably would. And
I
would need that screen as well to be like over there, attached to the side of the table over there. But because this is our living room as well, or dining room, it's not practical. So it's nice because when we're not using this, I just fold the screen back down. It's on a swivel arm, so I can just fold it back, and it kind of hides out the way, so we can actually eat food at the table. It's not ideal. It isn't ideal, but we work with it. Yeah. Michael says, Kath can actually have control your streaming PC. Was there a bit prior to that I'd missed out?
I don't think so.
Senrab says, would videos on practical uses of NAS be appropriate? Say to watch a collection of videos or photos. Think of apps that populate the NAS UI. I do like doing NAS videos because I actually do like using NAS.
Funnily enough.
Yeah, I did tell them about that. Yeah, at the very beginning, yeah. The trouble is with doing NAS videos, and probably more so live stream NAS videos, is if there's any kind of passwords or confidential or potentially damaging information on the screen that I need to blur, that's really hard to work around. In a pre-recorded video, it's not too bad because you can. Now I've worked out how to use the Gaussian blur in Adobe Premiere and how to get it so it tracks it. Because the thing is, normally if you like, say for instance, I showed the bottom of a NAS now, or actually for example this box here. So I'm guessing somewhere, yeah, like there's barcodes on here. So if for some reason there was like a MAC address or something like that on there, which is ideally you want to keep personal. If there was a MAC address on here, I'm showing you the box and doing that, moving it around, it's really hard to kind of track the blur. Whereas obviously if it's just a still image and it's just like a static like that, you can just do a blur in one area and it's fine. But again, when you're moving it around and for it to track it is a little bit tricky. At least tricky in normal traditional kind of pre-recorded video. On a stream it's impossible to blur out as far as I'm aware. What's that? Ah, Lee Beezer in the house. Skin tight kid. I don't know what that means. I am tight. Very tight.
But you've got to wear it to get around electrical wiring.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, so moving on from that. Yeah, videos on anything in the kind of the deep workings of Google, as in like Chrome or YouTube or NAS, or anything which has like a password and username to connect to, those types of videos are really hard to do and really hard to kind of plan around. I've probably done it already where I've released a video and it's got my private email address or whatever, which obviously isn't the end of the world, but there are some people that could maybe grab that address and then put it with like a password and possibly get into things. I've got 2FA on pretty much everything these days anyway. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, but there are some things which, just for the sake of it, you want to blur out, because there are bastards out there who will try and hack the bejesus out of you. So yeah, those things are quite difficult to do. O'Reilly says, as for Mike, to actually blur content, they would almost need to use like MAC address. You would almost need a magic marker, a camera AI, something OBS could detect then blur. Yeah, it's really hard to do. You can get cameras like in OBS, I think you can get it to do an automatic background blur, which is generally quite good, but it's not perfect. So when people move around, sometimes you see the background behind them. It's not always ideal depending on the background. So yeah, it's potential. Alexa says, perhaps you could show us how to turn an old PC into a NAS and have one with no sensitive data on it. Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. And in fairness, I do actually have a stack of hard drives on my shelf up there, which desperately need something done with them. I've got 4 Western Digital 4TB NAS drives, the red ones. I've got a 10 terabyte drive, which I bought from eBay about 2-3 years ago, thinking, I know, I'll use that to back up my entire NAS. Never bothered, due to certain complexities, which I actually fixed in the NAS video. So potentially that actually might get resurrected. I need to put it into a caddy and then transfer my entire NAS onto it. Backing up a NAS is never an easy thing to do. And I'm very, very uncomfortable backing up a NAS to the cloud, because the cloud is a strange thing and it's a strange place. And actually, going back to what I said just now, when it comes to things like usernames and passwords, it's kind of, well, with a lot of things, especially if they're in the cloud or online, it's not really a matter of if it's going to get compromised, it's kind of when. And the thing is, like, you might painstakingly create the longest, most intricate password in the world, but potentially if you store that password in the cloud or in your Apple keychain or in your Chrome password keeper, etc., or LastPass or any of those types of things, as we know, they're all vulnerable to attack in some way, shape or form. Whether it's just employee negligence, where they accidentally click on something they shouldn't and they have their machine compromised, which then gives people access to other machines on the network, or it is someone actually working inside doing these things. Trusting anything to anyone else other than yourself is generally a bad idea. It is. I know there's not many options these days, and for simplicity, a lot of people do it. Like, it's so easy when Chrome says, do you want me to save your password? It's so easy to just say yes, rather than every time you go to a site thinking, oh, what was the password, and doing all these things. It's a pain in the ass, I get it. But it's, yeah, it's not great. Yes, Kath? Semrab, which one?
Second from last.
Gold mine on my shelf, lol.
No, down. Second from last comment made.
Right, okay. Is it okay to have 2 hard drives as volume 1 and then back up to 2 different hard drives labelled volume 2? Yes. In terms of data security, then yes, because if you've got a drive which is on volume 1, which fails, you've still got that data on volume 2, which you could then have spares of. Ideally, when it comes to backing up any sort of data, the ideal scenario is it's on a physically different medium in a physically different device. So whether it's another NAS type device in your house, or whether it's another computer in your house, or an external drive, that sort of thing, those are the type of things ideally for backup. But everyone's got their own opinions, their own preferences. There's the kind of the 3-2-1 rule that you should have 3 lots of data on 2 different types of two different formats and 1 off-site. realistically, I don't think many people tend to do that. Most of us have got our data kind of splattered around in different places. Like you maybe got a little bit in OneDrive, you've got a little bit in Google Photos or whatever. You might have some in your Amazon Photos.
Might have none on.
You might have Dropbox. Yeah, you might not have any cloud at all. There is that to it as well. But yeah, it's never easy. David Under says, how about a video using YubiKey? Yeah, that I think actually I do like the idea of that. I really do. YubiKey, from what if it's what I think it is a hardware, basically biometric. So it's like a USB stick, and you basically, if you want to access anything, boom, put your thumb on it or your fingerprint or whatever, and that is how you access things. So you don't need a password. You would just use your biometrics, which is great, but I suppose there are ways that might be possibly cloned or copied. A lot more difficult, let's be fair. And also as well, I think with the YubiKey, the downsides of that is if you're using just a single computer, it's ideal. But like for me, I've got my desktop, I've got the streaming PC, I've also got my Mac, and also I've got my laptop. And I generally work between all 4 machines. So in theory, I would either need to physically remove my YubiKey from each device, which possibly isn't that practical, or have 4 YubiKeys. I think that would be a fair assumption of how it works. If it isn't, let me know. Matthew Day says there's what if a drive fails, use ZFS or RAID, versus what if a power surge takes out the entire box. Yeah, there is that to it as well. And I would say if you're using a NAS, not only should you back up your data, you should also have some form of power protection. I've got a UPS running on my Synology. There's also one running on another box, which I'm not going to mention what it is, but not for any reason other than why should you tell people what you've got? The Synology, everyone knows I've got anyway, so it's not the end of the world. SK in the UK says, so sick of the rain. Yeah, it's nearly summer though. We're in February. It's not long until spring will last for about another 9 months, and then it'll be cold again. You never know, we might get a couple of days of warmer weather this year. Who knows? Semrab says, used to use a separate external hard disk drive, but now as easy to use as NAS, but I hear you. Thanks, Mike. No worries. Semrab says, Matthew Day, never thought of power surge taking out the entire NAS. Yeah, that is definitely a concern. So that is why now on my NAS I have got 2. Actually, one have I got? I might have one in here which I can show you, which are very good. Yes, there he is. So, as part of my 3-2-1 backup strategy, which is probably boring the bejesus out of some of you, but whatever, I've got these. So Western Digital, little 5 terabyte drives. So these are 2.5-inch, basically mechanical drives. They are USB 3. I think there's a USB Type C version you can get as well, but I've just got the kind of, well, I'm not even sure what they call that one. It provides power and data at the same time. It's a bit of a weird plug. But I bought 2 of these. I should have got 3 actually, but I bought 2. So as you can see, this is backup number 1. The other drive is backup number 2. So I connect this to my NAS, and there are a selected bunch of personal kind of files, whatever you want to call them. Ones which I really couldn't be without. Like some of my old YouTube backed up stuff, like, yeah, if that goes, whatever, it's online, I can get it somewhere or other. What use it would be to me, I don't know, but it's there. So I don't back up all that stuff because it's backed up in YouTube and it's backed up on Odyssey, etc. But for certain things like the tax documents, the pictures, family photos, personal files, all that kind of stuff, those are backed up onto this. Does it twice a day, once at the beginning of the day, once at the end of the day. And essentially when it gets to the drive being full, it just overwrites a previous backup, and it stores about 7 or 8 different versions, I think, of the files. There is a thing built into Synology called Hyper Backup, which basically does that for you. So that's set to run, and what I do is, because it's on a USB, I've got 2 of them, so every week or so, or whenever I think about it, I'll just disconnect one drive and plug in the other. So if for some reason that room got destroyed I've still got this drive in another room, or technically this should be the thing that Kath's going to take out to her mum's or something, and we'll keep one drive there. That's why I wanted 3. So I wanted a spare here, just in case I need to recover a file, and also another one off-site. So then that is my 3-2-1 backup strategy done. So I've got my NAS, which is kind of sort of backed up anyway, because you've got 4 drives. One can fail before I lose all the data, so that is one layer of protection. I've also got the USB backups, and there will be one in another location. So I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to do. Some of my other information is backed up online, as much as I don't like it. It is. I use OneDrive to some extent for some files, ones that I don't really care about too much, but if I lost them, it would be, I wouldn't say painful, but it would be a nose. That's the term. Like it would be a pain, but I could live without them. So it's just like some spreadsheets, documents, pre-formatted documents that I've done, that sort of stuff.
Jason Woods.
Where is it? Jason Woods. I can't see.
I've got Q.
Oh, Jason Woods. Jason Woods has a question. Let's click on that. Question from Jason Woods. I'm upgrading my friend's PC from a Ryzen 3 2200G to a Ryzen 5 3600, but I can't seem to put Windows 11 on it. It has a A320 motherboard. Is it the motherboard not allowing Windows 11 to install? So have you, well, first of all, the 3600 will support Windows 11. But you will need to update the BIOS on the motherboard most likely. If it's an A320, I'm guessing it's got an older BIOS. So in order for you to install Windows 11, there's 2 ways you can do it. So probably the simplest way, but the messy way, would be to go over and use something like Rufus and download the Windows ISO, but also tell Rufus to remove the secure boot option and TPM support and CPU support, that sort of stuff. So you can do that. You can install Windows quite happily. I would say personally, the better way would be to update the BIOS from whichever version it's on. You might need to do it in steps if it's on an older BIOS, which if it hasn't already got TPM support and secure boot support, I'm guessing the BIOS is probably going to be about 3 or 4 years old at least. So you may need to update your BIOS in steps, like if you're on a 2020 BIOS, for example, and obviously we're 2026 now, I would probably do like a yearly one. So look for a BIOS in 2021, then update it, then do 2022, 2023, 2024, 25, etc. It's very rare these days that you can go from an extremely old BIOS to the latest BIOS in one direct jump. Most motherboards will complain about that when you try to do it. But yeah, if you don't fancy doing the BIOS updates, which I would probably do just for your own kind of sanity really, because you never know when the Rufus stuff, if they remove the TPM and the secure boot stuff, if for some reason there's a Windows update at some point where that becomes enforced somehow, you'll then be knackered because your operating system won't run. So if you're doing a fresh install, I would do the BIOS updates just to be on the safe side. Jason says BIOS is updated but still doesn't want to know. I would check inside the BIOS with the Ryzen 5 3600 installed and go into security or boot. It'll be in one of those sections depending on the board, and look for TPM and make sure TPM is turned on and you're using FTPM. You may need to change it from custom to Windows or Windows to custom or vice versa, just to kind of trigger it to refresh the TPM module and to give it a new set of credentials. Alternatively, if you still struggle, hop on the Discord at some point and we'll try and get you through it. Senrab, Jason Woods. Where?
Sorry question.
Oh, sorry again about NAS, but quickly, could I do the same with Asus Store NAS using my extra hard disk drive? Yes, you can. Yeah, most. I'm not sure what the software is called in the Asus Store. I think you can use the Windows-based one to do it, but I'm pretty sure there's like a backup solution inside of the Asus Store software as well. But yeah, you should be able to do that very easily.
Mason's in now.
Mason's in as well. Jesus.
What does that mean?
Skin tight, kid. Not too sure.
What's it slang for? What's it rhyming?
STK. I don't know. Maybe just the lighting's good. I don't know. Right, where did I get to?
Rhyming slang for?
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
So I think that is it. That's answered. Order board, blah, blah, blah. No, I think that is it. I think I've covered all that. So yeah, there's a little bit of blurb about backing up, etc. Sarah says, yeah, Asia Store does back up to volume 2, but so many damn apps on UI. Yeah, there is. It does get a bit confusing actually, doesn't it? There's too much stuff installed as default. I should as well, last week I meant to say thank you, but I didn't. So David Thompson sent this Thermalright cooler for us. He bought it and basically didn't need to use it. I actually put a little bit of a thing out on the Discord saying, has anybody got a 240mm AIO in white or know where I can get one cheaply? So David kindly offered and sent this over. So thank you very much, David. It is much appreciated. Bizarrely,
Did this do this week before?
Yeah, it was the week before. Bizarrely, in a strange twist of fate, the case that I wanted this to go into, something else happened altogether and I got messed around. So yeah, this is still required, but it's not for the same purpose. So there wasn't the same urgency, but I will certainly make use of it. I do have to do a build in a white case, which we're going to be looking at very shortly indeed, which is what the theme of tonight's stream is supposed to be about. So just to kind of pre-warn you, or some sort of preamble about this before I get it out, because this potentially could cause some controversy. It shouldn't do, but it might do, possibly. So the case that we're going to be looking at shortly is the Montech King 65 Pro. Now, it normally retails for somewhere in the region of about £80, 70 to £80. Scan UK at the moment, I've got it on offer for £59.99, I believe. Plus, I think it's £3.99 shipping, or maybe it's overclockers, one of the two. So it was on offer. I actually managed to pick it up thanks to our fantastic Discord eBay bot for the princely sum of £42.88, I believe it was. So got an absolutely cracking deal from the Discord bot. So awesome, saved a ton of money. And it was a weird one because a lot of people have suggested to me, Mike, why don't you review the King 65? Or Mike, why don't you review the King 95? They're great cases, etc, etc. And I've always kind of had it in the back of my mind. I don't like the King 95 because it has curved glass. Don't look at my curved glass. I don't mind curved glass at the top, but on the sides, I don't know, it just bothers me. I don't know, there's something about it, it's just too fish tanky. Maybe I come from an era in the 90s where roundish or rounded off fish tanks were all the rage, and to have a PC looking like it, just, I don't know. And I don't feel that the rounded off corners on PC cases are done well enough. Like the King 95, it's like straight, then a curve, then a gap, then a straight panel. If it was molded all into one, I think I would have less issue with it. But because the curve looks like half-assed, now don't get me wrong, if you've got the King 95 and you like it, that's fine. I'm just giving my opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion. You're more than welcome to disagree with my opinion, because that is all it is. And opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. So,
oh yeah, I've always butt cheeks.
Butt cheeks. You could have two opinions. You could have both opinions. Two different opinions on the same thing. You're more than welcome to do that. So, yeah. Back on track. So, when I was looking at the case, I was still I was like, well, do I, don't I? So, what do you normally do when you're looking to buy a piece of computer hardware? You do what pretty much everyone does, and myself included. You fire up Google or your browser of choice, and you just type in the product and then review. And you go through the various options there. So I watched, I think, 4 or 5 reviews in total. And I was a little bit confused, if I'm honest, because there were some reviews which seemed extremely positive about the case and saying that, like, because of playing on the name for the king, like a new king is born, or the king of cases, or the king of budget cases, that kind of thing. You get, the usual kind of YouTube type titles. But there's other channels which have reviewed it and have been very unfavourable to it. So some have referred to it as a hotbox, or I'm trying to think of an exact quote, but I can't think of it on the top of my head. But essentially saying that the design of the case is great. It looks nice, and for the price it's pretty good. But the airflow is awful, especially in the stock configuration, which realistically, when you're looking at a case, if you start at the base ground level of the case itself and what it comes with, if it's not great to start with, if you want to improve it, or if you are to improve it, you are basically kind of well, polishing a turd, I think, is the phrase that I would think of. Polishing a turd is a very accurate thing. So when you're making something better than it could be or should be,
that's rolling a turd in glitter.
Rolling a turd in glitter, that is also a frequently used term in this house.
Not in this house,
No, it's not.
that was in Casualty.
Yeah, that is basically what you're doing. So if you're starting off at a foundation base level where things aren't great, like, yes, of course, there's things you can do to improve airflow, such as put in better fans. That's an obvious one. You can add more fans. That's another one. You can have an incredibly powerful exhaust on the system in terms of like exhausting heat out the top. So even if the fans are underpowered, the powerful exhaust fans will kind of pull in everything it possibly can and also assist the intake fans. So there's ways you can overcome it. But again, it struck me at the time that there are a lot of YouTube channels and media publications. I'm not saying this is just a YouTube thing. This is media publications as well. There are a lot of media publications which may or may not be either sponsored by, or being promoted by, or just being offered sweeteners by the brands in question to give a more favourable review than they otherwise would if they'd actually gone out and bought it themselves. And I think that is where we as a channel fall down in the eyes of YouTube and the wider media, because we don't take sponsorships, we don't take endorsements and things like that. Yes, if somebody wants to send us a product for free to review it, we will review it in that regard. And if there's negatives, we'll point them out. If there's things we don't like, I will definitely point them out, because I've watched, Poppy, careful with that camera, I've watched way too many videos that have been not, let's say, I'm trying to think of the word, evangelical about a product, when they've kind of just concentrated on the positives but not explored the negatives. And that really bothers me. That when I watch a video like that, it feels like I've wasted my time, and there's a strong likelihood that I won't watch that channel again, or won't go to that media outlet again, because it almost seems clear that they're trying to appease someone. Now again, I'm not going to mention any specific names on this because that would be unfair, but you may find out for your own investigations who I'm referring to, because it may be obvious. But whatever. If they've put the pen to paper, or typed a script, or made a video, and they've said these things which other people disagree with, and I actually disagree with, it's on them. It's up to them to defend it. I don't care if it's a popular channel or absolute nobody. Doesn't bother me. They've still done it, and I don't agree with it. Yes, Gav.
Ask, which case are we talking about?
We are talking about the King 95 Pro. And actually, I went as far as to say, I've actually done a full video review of this, so this will be coming out very shortly. Well, say shortly-ish. And you can kind of make up your own minds there. This is kind of like you're getting a sneak peek of what is going to happen. And again, it may cause some controversy. I don't think it will, because realistically, Most other channels just don't care. They're quite happy doing their thing, but it pisses me off when I feel that someone is being disingenuous about a product, because I wouldn't do it, and there isn't really well, there probably is an amount of money which I would compromise myself for, because it'd be stupid to say that there isn't, because if someone gives you enough money,
I wouldn't.
like to never have to work again kind of scenario, then yeah, you'd be like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll say whatever. You'd probably feel bad about it, but everybody has their point. I know a lot of people have got their morals, or maybe there's some things like if someone said to you, "Oh, I'll give you eternal health," you'd be like, "Ooh, I'm really sick." Yeah, I'd be tempted. So there are things that people can offer you in terms of to sway your opinion, and I personally don't like it. So anyway, sorry, just reading through the comments there. David Under was saying the King 95 Pro or the King 65 Pro. Well, this sort of affects both cases, because effectively both cases are the same chassis. The difference being is the King 65 Pro uses different fans and there are less of them. That is the kind of the key difference, and also the rounded off glass and some rubber grommets. I think that is pretty much the only thing. Oh, also the RGB controller and ARGB hub. There's a 10-port one on the Pro 95, and on the 65 it's a 6-port. But that doesn't affect cooling performance, just affects the it affects the amount of fans you can connect up. So let's get the case out and we'll have a look, and I will show you how I've come to my decision. So when the video comes out and if people disagree, then that's fine. But as long as you know why I've come to my decision, and maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Again, it doesn't matter if you do or not, that's absolutely fine. But I feel like we had a really bad experience years ago with the Cooler Master, was it the Cube 300 or Cube 400? I'm not sure. There was like a case which was, it was really popular. And Cooler Master were promoting the bejesus out of it everywhere, and everyone was reviewing it and saying, "Oh yeah, this is fantastic. You can have it face down, you can have it on its side, you can rotate it, you can do all these kinds of things with it." And it was absolutely awful. I put in a Radeon R9 290, I think, which was a really hot running card, and I had like an FX 8300 as well. So like a really hot running CPU and a really hot running GPU, and I put it in this case and it basically just melted it. It was horrendous. And the thing is, what Cooler Master did was they put these metal magnetic filters on, like everybody uses, but they were really, really tight mesh, and behind that mesh was like circles. And if you ever looked at a circular kind of design in an airflow pattern, you're basically only taking out roughly about 50% of the metal. So 50% of the metal is blocked anyway. And then you've got to take into account where the magnetic holes go over the existing holes, and it reduces it down even further. So I think we worked out there was something like about 25 to 30% of actual available airflow. If you also take into account the fan blade, the fan surround and arms and all that sort of stuff in the center hub. So it's basically, Poppy, for fuck's sake. Sorry, excuse my French. There's a box there, lie on the damn box. Scaring me.
Now you're going to attack me. Make me knock the camera off.
She's rolling around right next to the tripod for the camera, ruffling as they do. Anyway, so that is, yeah, we had a really bad experience with that, because I basically called it out and said, look, this is shit. I think I just sent it back because it was awful. Or actually, I tell a lie, I went to the hassle of getting some cutters out, and I cut out the circular bits of metal in some places. Yeah, the master box. And I think I made a video on that as well. But then I tried to sell it, and I couldn't sell the case for, I think I got like 10 quid for it or something, because someone said, "Oh, yes, you've cut bits out of it." It's like, yeah, but I've actually cut bits out of it to improve it, because well, you'll find out. And yeah, loads of people said, "Oh yeah, you're talking out your ass," and I got so many negative comments, and they're saying, "Oh, such and such has reviewed this case and they said it's brilliant, and this channel says it's great, and I've bought one and it's fantastic because I've got this processor, and it's like, yes, you're running like a bottom ass low end processor. And I think then it was like a Ryzen 1200, like a Ryzen 3 1200, which basically you could cool with a potato. If you put anything hotter than a 65 watt part in there, it basically broke down immediately. It was horrendous. And then a couple of months later, Steve from Gamers Nexus actually did a review on the case and vindicated every single thing I said. And it was like such a relief that Steve, like, I like Steve from Gamers Nexus. I don't agree with everything he says. There's some things which I diametrically opposed to what he says, but when it comes to his reviews and the way he goes about them, I think they're pretty valid. And yeah, he vindicated my review on there, and it was like, yes, thank you. Finally, someone actually understands where I'm coming from. And all of a sudden, after that video came out, yeah, the negative comments and the comments in general on that case, it just died. There was all the views and everything just died. And it was like, I don't really quite understand what just happened there, but I feel that I've been vindicated. I no longer am beating myself up on it, because I actually thought it was me. Am I being stupid here? And I didn't really have anyone else at the time that I could kind of bounce my ideas off to say, like, have you used this case, like, from a objective point? Yeah, we didn't have many subscribers. We only had like a couple of hundred, if that. And yeah, it was really weird for being this really small channel and getting absolutely killed in the comments section. And I think we actually turned the comments off.
We did turn them off.
But I did turn them back on again, I think, later on.
I think after that video, wasn't it?
Yeah, after Steve's video went out, I turned the comments back on just to see if anyone said anything. But anyway, moving on. Let's get this case out and we'll have a look at it. And hopefully my...
You will have to keep an eye on the chat, because I'm supervising the tripod now. They can't see you.
I'm fighting Poppy. Right.
He'll be crying when she gets him.
If she scratches me, I will cry like a baby. No, it's out in the bloody hallway. And it's the big ass box. Right. Yeah. Do something with yourselves. I'm going to get the case out of the box in the hallway, which is why it probably sounds really echoey. So, I taped it down as well. I have to tape things down in here because otherwise either it gets cat hairs in or cat toys. So do talk amongst yourselves. Actually, I might as well take that out now. That is the destructions. Sorry? No. Get ready for a static shock now. Oh, I opened it the wrong way around. Oh, I forgot I left the power supply in there. Oh, crap. I can't do it. That's right, I got it, I think. Oh, it was cutting into my fingers. Why is this so heavy? Have I actually put some lead weights in this thing? Or am I just being a wuss? Right, nearly done, ladies and gents. Do you know what? When I was getting ready for this video, I was thinking to myself, I'll have to get a power supply out so I can fire up the fans. And I realised I actually left the power supply in. That was probably a good idea. Oh, God.
She's almost 5.
She's not. She's almost 4.
She's 5 this year.
Is she?
The
Chase.
kittens are going to be 3.
Whew.
The kittens are 3.
Right, let's move my my bits and pieces and bits and bobs over by here, as they say in Wales. if you're thinking about buying this case, I don't know if it's me, but it seems really heavy. The glass panels are actually thicker than usual. So traditionally glass panels I think are like 3 or 4 mil, whereas these are like 4 or 5 mil. Really thick and really weighty. So it's actually a very well built case. Structurally is excellent. Oh yeah, funny story. Not very funny for me, but funny potentially for some of you. Why there's a power supply in here and you can see cables strewn around the place. I actually bought a motherboard off of Amazon from the resale, and it was the Asus B. Actually, I've got it down here still. While I'm trying to remember the name and getting breath back. Oh, that's heavy, that case. So this one here, the Roger Strix B650A, which this is a bizarre board. So I bought this off Amazon resale, and some of you probably seen me. I did a BIOS flash update video on it, and also the product review video of it. And it's a lovely board, and I picked it up for a really good price. £108 I paid for this, which was I thought was excellent. And it came with all the accessories, etc, etc. And of course, when I did the BIOS flash, I thought everything was all good to go. But what I failed to do was to actually put a CPU on and test it properly. And unfortunately, when I actually came, I put the build in here, did everything, built it all up, put a processor in, and it wouldn't post with 2 sticks of RAM. One of the RAM channels is dead, and I looked closely, and the pins on the board are actually pretty knackered. So unfortunately, yeah, it's a dead board. So I got on the case to Amazon, and they said basically, yeah, just throw it away, because it's like from resale anyway. So they said chuck it away. Thank you very much, Mark Gaines, for your £10 super chat. Where's my mouse gone? There we go. Thank you very much. Let's give you a little heart on there. God bless you. And he says, Mike, I still have my Trix 360 Panorama AIO in white. Should you be interested? I'm not sure actually if I would be. That is a very kind thing of you to offer, but I'm not too sure. I'll have to look at the Trix panoramic again. I have actually got a panoramic AIO here to review, and I've got to be honest with you, there is a little bit of an element of me which feels that the LCD screens on AIOs have got a little bit out of hand. I know they have a market and there are certain demographics within the market which like that sort of stuff, but I'm not entirely keen on it, I'll be honest with you. And the money that they cost, when you can get a pretty decent performing sort of 360mm AIO for like 50 quid, it just seems a little bit bananas, especially in this economic climate at current. But maybe there's a possibility. We will potentially take you up on that, maybe, possibly. Yes, Kath.
Who was that?
Mark Gaines.
Andy Archer. I can't say that big word.
Andy Archer. Andy Archer saying big words to Kath? Oh dear.
No, it's his username.
Oh yeah. Arkanoid of the Underverse. Send it over to me, Mike, and I'll see if I can straighten them out. Oh, that would be absolutely awesome. To say, the board actually works, and I can get it to post with one stick in slot 2. It posts, but if I put a stick in slot 4, it dies. And I did get the magnifying glass on it, and I can just about see there's a bunch of pins which look slightly off, and there's one which I think is completely bent. But it doesn't look awful. And in fact, actually, if anyone would be interested, I don't know if you would you like to see the pins on the motherboard to see how bad it actually is? If that is something you would like to see on the channel, let us know in the comment section right away, and I will get the board out of the box, and you can examine the pins for yourselves and see what you think. You can probably see when, well, you might not be able to see, I'm not sure. The light does funny things, but if you look at it, you'll possibly think the same as I did, that yeah, it looks okay on first blush. But it wasn't until I got a bit of a closer inspection, or the light hit in a slightly different way, that was like, ah, here we go. And to be honest with you, we've had this on Discord many times where people have had problems with the system, and we've said, like, check the socket, and they've looked at it and said it's been fine. They've taken a picture and it's like, yeah, it looks okay. And it's like, well, try and take that picture from another angle and with light shining to the side. And yeah, sometimes when you do that, if you like get a torch or something, go like 360 around the socket to light it from different angles, sometimes the bent pins then shine and you can see them.
They want to see it.
Of course we want to see that. Yep, everyone wants to see it. Okay. Would it work using slots 1 and 3? To be honest with you, when I got to that point that it wasn't working, I'd already spent way too long building it up together and being upset. So I didn't go into it in too much detail. I did try different RAM sticks because I thought, first of all, I was like, oh, balls. Because I did put in some 6400 RAM, which I know Ryzen doesn't always like. But Expo shouldn't have been enabled as a default anyway, so it should have booted it like 4800 or some 5600 possibly. But yeah, it wasn't to be. So let's have a look see. So yeah, basically Amazon said, yeah, we'll refund you for it. Just chuck it in the bin. Well, the person on the call said chuck it in the bin or just dispose of it. But then we had an email come and say you can recycle it free of charge at your local Asda store, which isn't local. So that ain't going to be happening. So I would rather there was an attempted repair rather than it go into landfill, because obviously landfill is
I'm driving it though.
Crap, yeah, and get into
In a dirty diesel.
So I'm not too sure how
Do you want to go out?
how well that's going to come out. It looks okay ish. I don't want to move it around too much because I don't want the socket falling or me damaging the pins any more than they are. Yeah, the light in here is probably not going to help a great deal. But it does look pretty much okay. What are they saying in the comments, Kath? Is anyone's...
Is that a bent pin on the CPU socket?
Yes, it's meant to be.
I saw it. A couple of spots. Yeah, top left panel.
Yeah.
Looks not too bad. 3 maybe.
So from this orientation, I think there's one about here, and there's a few. Oh, sorry, it's really.
More now.
It's, yeah. Let me get some. I don't think I can get any more light on it, but yeah, if on some angles you can. Yeah, see if you can get some more light on it. But there's definitely one in this top corner near my thumb that I can see. Let me move it around. Trouble is, I can't really see the monitor to see what you can see.
Show your photo on your phone. I've deleted it.
No, I still got it on there somewhere.
That shows them quite good.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I've got a oh crap. Oh. I've got a picture that I took on my phone because I thought, well, if I take some pictures of the bent pins, at least then, if they do question it, I can do it. At the time when it was in the case, I said to Kath, like, do you think you could do it? And she was like, well, if I could see it, I could probably have a fighting chance, but I can't really see it.
ACDC says that'll buff out.
That'll buff out with some tea-cut. Oh, and happy belated birthday to Uncle Les, who was, what, 55 this year?
It feels like 85.
And he only feels like 85. Fantastic.
And some Eden.
Oh yeah, and Eden as well, sorry. Yeah. Quite a few birthdays in the family this time of year. Must have all got jiggy in May or something. Or that sort of time. Anyway, right, let's take a look at the case. I'll put the other light on now as well, because I know that it's not always as easy to see things. Let the camera do its thing. Whew. It's warm in here today. It is currently 23.8 degrees Celsius and a rather comfortable 69 degrees of humidity, or percent humidity I suppose it would be. Right then. So, King 65 Pro. Yeah, fish tank design case, blah, 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 blah. 2 included fans on this side, 1 on the back. So 120mm ARGB on the back, 140mm ARGB reverse airflow on the front. Front panel connectivity. Oh, fucking hell. How heavy is this shit? It's so heavy. Christ. It must be like 20 kilos or something. I don't know. Power button, LED button, which you could repurpose as reset if you wanted to, but why would you bother? Headset mic jacks, nice to see separate ones. I do like that. That would have been handy if I had that on my case the other night, because I was trying to record some voiceover footage and I couldn't get my mic to work, and it's like, combo jacks, hate you. USB 3.0, color-coded white.
I think it's a little stronger than that, babe.
Yeah, it was. And a USB Type-C, so yeah, that's all good. On the back, oh, fucking hell, smells. This is so heavy. Why does this feel so heavy? Am I just being soft or something? It just feels really heavy. Let me take off the glass panel a minute, because that is a lot of the weight, I think. That's like a couple of kilos at least. It's really thick glass. Hey, Candy! You've been keeping my desk warm, thank you. Right, so on the back, teabag mesh, which is fine, but in this instance, it's not a great idea. The thing is with this kind of very tight mesh, or the teabag style mesh as I call it, is yes, it's got a lot of porosity, and if there's enough pressure, you can get air either in or out, but that is the key thing. You do need the pressure there to do it. So, you know what it's like. If you get a tea bag, if you blow a tea bag,
Blows a tea bag.
It's-
I do wrong.
we've all done it, haven't we, to blow the dust off the tea leaves.
Thank you.
So if you blow someone's tea bag, it shrivels up a little bit. No, if you blow a tea bag, you can kind of understand where I come from. So you get those ones which are like a quite open type of tea bag, or you get ones which are like really closed. And you know where I'm coming from. You probably don't. I'm going to shut up. So let's take this side panel off. It's all actually quite nice to take off. It's very take on and offable, as they say in the trade. And I'm in the trade, so I can say that. In the back, so almost one of the first things you'll notice, I'm not sure how well you're going to see it on that angle, is the fans themselves are kind of offset from this hole. So the reason this section exists is because the fans which are here, which are set back in, are actually on a swivel joint. So if you bought the King 95 Pro, which is exactly the same chassis, those fans would be rotated outwards for front intake, although they're obviously reverse on this case, so it's pointless, but that's essentially why it's there. So you'd have the fans which are here currently would be at the front, and then you'd have either a radiator or other fans in these positions. So that kind of makes sense. And also, if I get the screwdriver of truth, we undo these screws, you can see behind this panel. And again, it's been engineered fantastically well in general, but there are areas which it's just daft. So that bit goes round and you can put a couple of drives in there. So 2.5 inch drive there and there. Put your fans in there, obviously 120s or 140s. Although if it's 140s, a lot of it's going to be blocked on this side because of those, that cutout, and again, the hole cutouts are absolutely pointless for airflow. And also you'll notice as well, hopefully you'll notice that the 140mm fans here essentially are pretty much blocked off apart from this channel. So generally with fans, I think it changes depending on the RPM, but the fans generally scoop from the outside edges and kind of funnel towards the center, and then you get like a cone off the center in terms of the kind of the airflow pattern. I really do need a smoke machine so I can demonstrate this better, but there, that's another story. So essentially what I'm saying is the fans are pretty much, most of them, blocked off on the sides, both sides. And that is only compounded a little bit more when you put that as an obstruction and then you put the tea bag on the top. Because where's the air going to come from? Unless those fans are spinning at a ridiculously high RPM to overcome the static pressure of the restriction of the frame, the secondary frame and the tea bag, the fans are somewhat pointless. Decorative almost. Other things which I do like, this section here, 3.5 inch drives, so back panel, remove that. You've got some drive caddies, you can put some drives in there. If you want to, you can take the screws out and remove that in its entirety. So if you need a little bit more room in the back for cable management, if you've bought some cheap ass power supply and it's got 1,000,000 cables coming off it and you've got nowhere to stash them, then you can take that out. But the thing is, actually this is an excellent opportunity. So all of the case, the porosity is basically that. So if you look at the amount of sheer metal there, there's a lot. And it's, if I put my finger on it, like, look how much of my finger you can actually see, and look how much of it is actually gone. It's around about 50% or so.
Why don't you colour them in black so we can see it in real terms?
Yeah.
Like you did your head with that pen.
So that is what the porosity is like. Now, if you took another case with like a nice design on it, I wish I could take the front panel off for that actually, the Thermaltake one. Or, yeah, actually, that's a good example. Oh no, I can't take that because I've got to take the glass out. I haven't got another hexagonal mesh here, but essentially, yeah, that is what you're working with. It's pitiful at best. If they design this with hexagonal mesh, almost all of the problems would be remedied. Which, yeah, it's one of those things. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Power supply is in there. Also as well, this kind of highlights how, I'm not sure if it's coming across on camera, but how different white cases can be. So this case is like a bluey white, whereas the power supply is almost like a, almost like
yellow white.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's one of those things where it ages a bit. The power supply has, and the power supply I did bleach a little bit. I bleached the cables. It didn't really help. So I wanted to try and make them look a little bit whiter. But anyway, so that is the back side. So you can see what's going on there. Overall, in terms of the layout, fine. Power supply there, excellent. There's a little mounting bracket with a rubber pad on. That is great. These bits are fantastic. We like that a lot. Cuban hills on the bottom. Yeah, the Cuban hills are good. So the feet on the bottom actually do raise the case up quite a bit, more than usual. So that allows some air to get in at the bottom, but let's take a look at the bottom. It's a little bit lighter now. So looking at the bottom, yay, hexagonal mesh. But unfortunately, behind it we have round mesh again. So yeah, it's great idea, less great idea. So this is where things again start to fall apart a bit, because if you wanted to improve the airflow characteristics of this case, if you're running slightly hotter parts or you've got an expensive GPU you want to keep cool, you could put some fans in the bottom of the case. But again, you're going to need to have some pretty decent fans in there or run them at a higher RPM just to overcome the restrictive nature of whole mesh, because it sucks. It's awful. Well, it doesn't suck. That is the problem. It's, yeah, pretty awful. So in terms of the design, the layout, I think it's great. Also, I think they've kind of made a bit of a boo-boo here. They have, you're right, Otis. This panel, or this filter, goes on from the back. So this is a big, heavy case. And when there's a load of stuff in there, it's going to be really, really heavy. So the last thing you're going to want to do on God's green earth is move this case when it's fully loaded. And most people, I'm going to say most people are going to have this on their desk, and it's going to be either like this or it's going to be like this. And if it's like this, there's a strong chance you're going to have your monitor somewhere over here, I would assume. You might have it on this side, I don't know, depending on what you're doing. But what I'm trying to say is, if you want to remove the filter, you've got to have a lot of room behind this edge. It would have been so much better for pretty much everybody, I feel, if they just made it so that it pulled out from the front. And I don't think it would have been that difficult to do. So that again, I think, is something which they've slightly overlooked here.
Something.
It is something that they've overlooked. The dirty bastards. Right then. Right, front panel, that comes off as well pretty easily. And in fact, sometimes a little bit too easily. This did fall off when I moved it earlier. So do be a bit mindful of that. The other panels are great because there's a little bit of screw that you can put in there to kind of stop it from doing stuff. In terms of rigidity, yeah, it's pretty much built like a tank. Not a lot of flex there at all. So that's all very built like a BMW, exactly. So there are the fans, as you can see them. And just to kind of reiterate what I said about the fans earlier, so these are reverse airflow. So they are pulling in air from behind the case here, through the mesh, through the restrictions, and into the main body of the case. In terms of the King 95, there is a screw.
Like he says, who cleans filters?
I do. Yeah, calf bloody thing. Dirty girl.
Sorry, Candy, did I get you?
So these undo, 2 screws there, and this bit folds out, and it's on like a swivel hinge. And then with that swiveled out there, you can then put a screw into the bottom, and that holds it in place. So there is an airflow version of the King 95 Pro, and the King 95 as well, I think. But obviously, if you bought that, they would probably supply you the fans to go the other way, or you could just manually turn them around yourself. So yeah, those switch out. Obviously, in this instance, because there would be a glass panel there, absolutely pointless having them there at all. So that whole mechanism, which bizarrely is actually attached with 4 screws. So you could actually remove that in its entirety if you really wanted to, and potentially I would, just to remove some of the restriction of it, and just maybe put some fans in the back there directly to this outer panel. It's not going to look as nice, but it could be done. So yeah, there is that. This is just over-designed, over-engineered, and essentially pointless, really. So let's get that back in there. As you can probably tell, I have no real feelings about this matter whatsoever. And to kind of illustrate what I've been trying to say. And what use is that to me that I can turn the fans away? Exactly, yeah. They've given you an option. Well, the thing is, they haven't really given you anything. What they've decided is they wanted to sell another case which was cheaper than the King 95 because they weren't selling as many as they wanted to. So they thought if they offered a lower cost alternative, that people would buy it. But they didn't want to re-engineer the case because that would mean spending more money on the design. So they basically just took it and stripped it down. So they added in these little plastic bits here. So on the King 95, those plastic bits have that bit basically shaved off. And the top as well. So that's rounded there and rounded there. They just added in a bit of plastic to enable it to be done. And I think they're just screwed in. They are actually riveted in. So yeah, they've riveted in a couple of pieces of plastic so you can have the flat glass, take out the plastic, then you can have the curved glass or whatever. So that's the fans. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I have got a anemometer, which I can't say. Anemometer. It measures wind speed. So it's basically got a fan in it and wind blows through it and it tells you how fast that wind is traveling in either meters per second or miles per hour. Pretty simple stuff. I will get it out later. I will whip out my anemometer and you can watch it in all its big glory. I was going to say something else then, but I'm not going to. You can see what it's like and you can see for yourselves, or hopefully get the same readings that I did previously, which I'm assuming it would. And in complete fairness as well, I actually took my readings with the back panel completely removed. So the teabag bit, I left it off to give this thing as much chance as possible to get some airflow through it. And the results are horrendous. I'm trying to think back of another set of fans which I've reviewed in the past or in a case which have had worse airflow. And I think years ago, there was a case that I reviewed that had fans on it and there was a glass front straight up against it. And I'm pretty sure that did better.
Do you know what? I need to crochet a Princess Peach with real hair so you can put it near your cases.
Oh, yeah, so it blows?
Yeah.
Who suggested that?
Me.
Oh, I thought we were out there.
No.
That's a good one. Yeah, get some real hair.
Some of my hair. I'll give her an inch or two.
Anyway, so that we'll take a look at shortly. Obviously, this mesh stuff, we know about that. The fan in the rear, absolutely fine. Decent fan, 120mm ARGB, but again, it's got the whole mesh on there, which is basically pointless. The bottom section, the whole mesh, basically pointless. You do have all removable PCI Express blanking plate covers. That's nice. So potentially you could put a vertical mount GPU in there. But because of the issue with the possible airflow restrictions in the bottom, I don't know if I'd be tempted to do that or not. In some instances it works, in some others it doesn't. You can put 140s or 120s in the bottom, and I think bizarrely there's like a weird offset. So the 140s, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 140mm, if you put them in the bottom, kind of go front here to here, which seems really odd. You would think that if you were putting 140s in, just for balance, they would be somewhat centralized. So you'd have like maybe, I don't know, one there, one there. But they've shifted them to this end for some reason. I don't really get it. Especially being that obviously a 140mm here blowing up is probably going to miss the GPU anyway. Most people are going to have a GPU which is about the length of the motherboard, maybe overhanging very slightly. So it would make a lot more sense to have both of the 140mm mounts like here and here blowing straight up into the video card, rather than blowing one into the card and one kind of into the path of these fans, which again, it doesn't make a huge amount of sense. So you can see I'm not being unnecessarily unkind to this case. I don't think personally. I just feel that there's like so many little things. Like on some cases, there are things which are negatives, but if overall the case in itself is rather positive, or it's stupendously cheap, then a lot of things you can overlook. But that is where I feel that this case falls over. Like, yes, it's got a great build quality, it's got quite a lot of flexibility, it can hold large components, etc. But the fact that the airflow is challenged by design from the case itself, the airflow is challenged by the lack of porosity from these fans, the fact that it's kind of over-engineered, it's very heavy. It just seems like there's too many things counting against it for it to make a lot of sense. Maybe it's just because I've been lucky and I've seen a lot of cases over the years, so you kind of get to see good ones, so it makes you then, like, the bar keeps on raising. So when something like this comes along, this reminds me of an Ions case. Now don't get me wrong, Ions cases are fine, but they're cheap for a reason, and generally it's because they're designed to kind of look nice, they're cheap and cheerful, they just get the job done. And I feel that this is where this case sits, that it's kind of, I got it cheap, but most people won't. But around about £60 at the moment isn't horrendous, I don't think, but it's not like, it's on offer at £60. And even at that, I wouldn't think to myself, I'll get a few of those in for stock, because that's a really good case. It doesn't give me that feeling at all. Whereas if it was like the Lianli 206, 216, 207, etc., the V100s, that sort of thing, I'll be like, yeah, that's a pretty decent price. I'll get a couple in because they're easy to move and they're good cases. With this, I don't know. It just leaves a little bit of a weird taste in my mouth. Maybe it's the coffee I'm drinking. Anyway, moving on. Let's look at the top. So top section again, we've got the T-bag mesh, which, to be honest with you, for an exhaust at the top, it's probably not the end of the world. And that actually does a good job in both ways, because it's going to stop debris getting into the case. So filtration wise, it's going to be great, and you could leave your drink on top and you won't have to worry about it too much. The top panel pops off, and the top panel is absolutely like built like a tank. It's like box section steel or aluminium or whatever it is. It's it's really, really tough. So it isn't going to deform or anything, and actually that, when it's attached to there, does add to some of the structural rigidity. That's a big word. So on the top, this section here can be removed. 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take that out. You can mount your radiators in. So do that outside of the case. Although, again, it's one of those things that I don't quite understand why they've done that, because
Got a drink.
I've got mine to fill up. I just haven't had time to drink it.
Much gas in.
Too much talking. So, if you think about it, like, it's a really open case anyway. There's lots of room at the top for putting radiators in, and realistically, like, if you're going to use this case, you're going to put a water cooler in it. If you're thinking of air cooling, this case is pointless, because you do really need the extra 3 fans in the top just to kind of exhaust the heat out the top, which is its saving grace, I think. But yeah, like, it's going to be just as easy to install the radiator into the case straight away than it is to take that out and then kind of feed it all through. So I don't really quite understand why the top bit has been made removable. I think it's just one of those things that some reviewers say they'll give extra points for that, whereas, like, I'd give extra points for it if it actually made sense, but it's so open and there's no, like, nothing here, so it's not like you can't feed all of your pipes and RGB cables and all that kind of stuff down through there. It's super easy to do. There's no restrictions there, so it's not like in some instances where you've got like a pump head which is so big that you couldn't physically get it through there, because there isn't any restrictions. So yeah, if there was restrictions like strengthening bars across there, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense, take the whole thing out, save you having to faff around. But you don't, so why? Again, it's just another pointless bit of engineering for the sake of engineering, I think. Let's have a quick look, see what you lot are saying. Mikey P says, I think Mike is turning into Steve from Gamers Nexus. I actually take that as a compliment, apart from the hair. I honestly like Steve's review style to some extent. Yes, he goes on, and I do as well. So, kettle pot in black. But yeah, I think when he reviewed this case, he basically said the same sort of things as I did. Possibly not quite as negatively as me, I'll be honest with you. Which I was a bit surprised at. I thought Steve was going to tear this case a new one. Because in the temperature testing with the stock stuff in here, it basically entered in the bottom, or the bottom 2, for all the cases they'd reviewed. So in terms of temperatures, it was in the bottom, the very, very bottom. Like even some of the real crap cases they've reviewed, it was lower than that. So all 4 CPU temperatures, stock configuration, all 4 GPU temperatures, stock configuration. So if you lose the CPU and GPU temperature tests, like, clearly this isn't a high airflow case in its stock configuration. That is the key thing here to bear in mind. I am saying this about its stock configuration because, like I said just now, and I'm going to make a point of saying it again, if you put in a 360mm AIO in the top here, especially one of the high performing airflow ones like the Arctic 360, then because that has got so much draw from those 3 fans pulling up through, that is going to assist it, because you're going to have a little bit of kind of negative pressure, which is going to help pull air in from other places, such as the holes on the bottom, the holes on the back, any kind of open spaces. It's going to try and pull air in, which in general will lower the overall case temperatures. And that is where this case would review quite well. So you put a 360 AIO in there, suddenly the performance changes. But not because of the case, it changes because of what you've added in, which would almost be the same for most cases, to be honest with you. I had a train of thought there, and it's gone. Yeah, put in fans in the bottom, I don't think are going to make a massive deal of difference, because you have to overcome the static pressure on the bottom there, and also you're going to be using reverse blade fans probably anyway.
How weird is that? I was in the kitchen thinking, we'll have to call you Hairless Steve. No,
yeah, well, someone else said it.
And then they're in the chat going, bold Steve from now on. Tech Moses, Tech Kojak.
Tech Kojak. That, I don't mind. Tech Kojak, that can stay.
But how did that get in my head when they were saying that?
Because I was talking about it as well.
Oh, were
You might
you?
have overheard me
Oh,
subconsciously. Anyway, so yeah, adding the AIO to the top is going to completely change the review. So because Gamers Nexus do their standard review setup, so they've got a MSI air cooler on whatever processor they're using, and also when they do the fans normalized, they change out for Noctua fans, so that did improve, which again says that how bad these fans actually are. And I've said how bad these fans are for long enough now, so why don't we see how bad these fans actually are? Because I think that is what we're all waiting for, at least I am. Because I want to be redeemed. Please redeem me, let me go. Right, so for this, to remove any kind of obstructions or anything which might be changing the reviews. Yeah. I'm going to use a Noctua fan controller. So this is basically a PWM controller which you can turn around, twist around 100%, 0%, and obviously areas in between. A lot of you have seen this on the channel already. I like to use this because if you use a motherboard, not all motherboards work in the same way. There might be something up with the PWM or whatever. So by using a raw powered controller, for me that generally works a little bit better. So I'm going to plug that up because that requires a SATA connection. And this will be connected to, if I can find it, the PWM. So at the moment, all the fans are plugged into a PWM hub, which is in the top of the case, which I didn't show you earlier actually, but to be fair, you're not really missing a great deal. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. It's just bare naked pins sticking out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this to the power supply. So that is basically to short the power supply so it continues running. Now I'm going to leave those wires there. They possibly could influence the cooling in some way, shape or form, but whatever. If you've built a case, there's a chance you're going to have cables there anyway. Someone taking the piss?
What? I gave you that. Dry your ears.
Dry your ears, mate.
Dry your nostrils.
There's plenty more fish in the sea. Oh dear, it's been a long day. It really has. Oh. I just realised I just plugged that in and the HDMI cable was around the pins. That's fucking excellent. Right, let's see, is that in the off position? Yes. No, that's in the on position. The opposite of the like I said. And there we go, there goes the camera. And we're back in the room.
Was that mic starting from karaoke? Come on, do it again.
I don't think it was. Right, so another positive, I think the fans actually look quite nice. I'm not sure how, well, I've blocked my own screen now and I can't see it. Oh, actually, yeah, it looks all right. They look good. And there is a little bit of air coming through. So let me put this into, so that is on full blast. And let me grab a piece of paper. Actually, I'll get some tissue paper because that's a little bit lighter. So if you imagine you're a GPU, and yeah, there's not really a great deal going on there, is there? It's barely moving. Considering these are at full blast, there's not a lot going on there. Now, if I drop it out the back of the case, it will jettison that straight away. So that is with them at full blast, of which I'm going to take a read in and we'll see how many meters per second the air pressure is.
Do you believe in iced tea, Mike, or is that blasphemous statement?
I've never, I've used to drink Lipton iced tea. I quite like that. Yeah, these come free, yeah. Right, so this is the anemometer.
Are they 1/4 Mike?
They are 140s. So I'm going to do this in miles per hour, and the airflow goes that way. So if I put it there, and that reading there, for a decent set of fans, really you should be getting around about 5, 6, 7 miles per hour. And currently that's at 1.7 or 2 miles per hour.
Can you twist it a little bit? You might be able to see it. It's just...
Let's do, hang on, if I do,
Yeah, I can see it now.
yeah, I'll do max min. So that is basically directly in the firing line of the fan. I've deliberately done it on the bottom fan, so that doesn't have any bearing on it whatsoever.
You'll have to tell the reading because it's unless it's slanted.
And have you got, actually, is there a ball of wool I can just unroll a little bit?
Yeah.
Right, here is a ball of wool. This is wool, as light as anything. So if I blow, just a little blow, it moves. If I put it here, see, it's just, it's just about moving. So that's just a little blow. I'm not exerting any energy at all.
In a minute, put the fan thing on you.
That's just whistling pressure. That's nothing. And the fan is basically hardly moving it. Let's move it
You're
along.
not making quite as much noise either, to be fair.
That's pathetic. Let's try it out the back. So out the back you can see it's actually making some attempt to move. There's actually a decent gust coming out the back.
Bit like you.
So what does what does this tell you about the fans that are here, other than they suck monkey balls? There's a little bit of, weirdly, there's a lot of coming out the side, but there's going to be glass there, so that is going to push it around a little bit. But it's just a very unusual air pattern, I feel personally. Maybe if I put the side panel on, it might be better. What reading have we got at the moment?
If Joe Biden was a fan.
Joe Biden, Ice Cream Joe, or Two Scoops Joe.
He wouldn't know which way to spin in.
Right, so I've put that on the side, so any air which is being ejected from the side of the fans, because you do get that, you get like spill off in terms of airflow. So by putting that there, it kind of, it should be forcing it around there. And if I put it over here a little bit more, not great. So I'm going to give you a close up of that. I've got it on min max, so hopefully, I'm not sure if you can see it. Can you see that at all?
Go back a little bit.
Ah, there we go. So 2.4 miles per hour. Basically, that is slower than a lot of people walk. And you can see that is almost stopping now. So that is with the fans at their highest level.
But what if it was nearer to the fans? Because the wall was nearer to the back fan, wasn't it?
Sorry?
The wall was nearer to the back fan.
Yeah, but the only reason I did that is because there's all the restriction there, so just to see what's coming out the back, like raw power. So now let's put them down onto the lowest speed,
Sorry, I can't hear you.
which you could actually probably live with. And let's see what reading we get now. Well, it's trying to move.
What is 2.4 miles per hour in meters?
In meters per second, I'm not sure. I will have a look. So, you've probably guessed already that, yeah, we got nothing. Now, I will give...
They not even, they still just...
Yeah, that's completely static, so, you know. That didn't do a lot either, to be fair.
back trousers you've got.
So I'll give it a little blow to give it a start. And is it going to carry on? It is going to carry on. Oh, no, it's going to stop, I think. That is basically 1.1 mile per hour. Now, for those of you that weren't entirely sure, now 1.1 mile per hour is nothing. At the back, there's a little bit of air movement, not a great deal. That's very low RPM. Let me change that to meters per second.
1.0729. AI Rally has already done that.
Nice one, AI Rally. So, meter per second on the slow speed, about 0.4 to 0.5. If we crank it up, we've got 1 meter per second at the moment. What did O'Reilly say it was?
O'Reilly said it is 1.0729 meters
Oh,
per
right.
second.
Yeah. So, we've got 1.1 there briefly.
Andy said 1 mile is 1,609 meters.
Yeah. So meters per second, we're looking between 1 and 1.1 meters per second, which is pretty awful.
Why are the AMD fan screws so difficult to tighten?
I don't honestly know. They should have made the threads longer, but for some reason they choose not to. I don't know. Does bro check chat? Yes, I do.
Just answered.
I did just answer that. Yeah, AMD screws, well, they're not hard as long as you don't over tighten any of the screws. So if you maybe get one thread started, just a very, very tiny bit, then the others should be balanced. But because it's like a flat surface and you've got screws in corners, etc., or side to side, if you do one side up, it lifts the other, so then it makes it harder to do the other. So you want to do it like a little turn, then a little turn, a little turn, a little turn. Gradually do it that way. If it's like the stock cooler with the 4 screws top and bottom, yeah, they're a pain. Just get yourself a decent PH2 screwdriver with a decent size to it. Don't use like your iFixit type screwdrivers, they're shit. Use something half decent with a little bit of torque to it. Otherwise, you're going to have a horrible time doing it.
Should I be scared to break it?
Depends if it's a stock cooler, not really. If you're not too sure, post pictures of it on our Discord and someone will help you through it, hopefully. I won't, obviously, because I'm here. Aletta says a hamster farting makes more wind than that. It probably does. Me farting does through thick jeans.
Jeans and tea bags.
So,
Okay, for a wee
a bit too noisy on full RPM and not moving basically any air. So, I hope that by me going through this in some level of detail actually helps to explain my thoughts on it, because I'm not trying to be downer on Montech, because I actually like the 903 Max Air, great case, loved it, and there's other Montech cases which I do like, but I do feel that every now and then they try and do something like this. They're clearly trying to copy something like the 011, like even with like the Montech badge at the top above the fan there, like the metallic badge, very much like the Lian Li one. They've basically tried to copy Lian Li's design in a lot of ways on this, but I think they've done it really badly. Now, of course, if you changed out the fans, potentially the characteristics of this case could change as well. But I can't do a genuine, honest review of a case based on ifs and buts. I've got to do it on how it is presented or how you would buy it. And for me, if I was to buy this case, I would be thinking very carefully about what sort of graphics card I'm going to put in here. And I would be thinking very carefully about potential upgrades as well. So if there was a potential that I was going to upgrade to something a little bit meatier in terms of CPU, obviously a 360mm AIO is going to be a must regardless. So kind of, if you are thinking about buying this, I would say factor in at least another £50 for a 360mm AIO if you don't have one already, because that is going to be the saving grace of this. And also, if you look at the reviews of this case, where they've done full system build reviews, the reviews which come out more favourable have 360mm AIOs. And I would argue that the 360mm AIO is doing the lion's share of the work, the heavy lifting, so to speak, because these fans, like I've said in the review video, for me, those fans are purely decorative. They serve no real function whatsoever. The one in the back, give it its due, the 120 ARGB in the back, the normal one, is actually a decent fan. And to be honest, if they'd have put 2 of those in there, but round the wrong way, it would probably be a lot better. But they haven't. They've chosen to do this, and it's a shame. And at the full retail price of $79.99, I think it is, or whatever it's supposed to be, I think £80 for this case is a bad decision. It's £60. Okay, I can kind of get behind that. I paid £42.88 via our eBay bot. So for 40 quid-ish, I'm kind of like, well, yeah, I can put some cheapish stuff in there for a little flip build. It'll be fine. People will look at it and go, oh yeah, that looks cool. But I wouldn't want to do a build in this with like a 7800X3D and like a 9070 XT, because I don't think it's the right case for it at all, without obviously making a lot of modifications fan-wise. What are you doing, crazy cat? Leave my cables alone. Anyway, Viali says, I would rather pay the extra for a premium case. I agree, 100%. Rick says, I like Montech cases. I actually do. I generally do. I like the Montech 903 Air. That was good. And some other ones. Plus the RGB makes them faster too, says Andy. Yeah. Mike P says, I've done quite a few builds in Montech cases. They're probably my favourite brand. The thing is, Montech, what they stand for in terms of value for money, they're on to a winner. But I just feel with this case, they haven't quite nailed it. They normally do. There's one or two that they have done, which, like, I think the GX range was a little bit weird, a little bit wacky. The King 95, I think, performs better because it comes with 3 fans included at the bottom as well, which I think overcomes. And also, they use different fans on the side. So to be fair, if you've got a King 95 or a King 95 Pro, you've got better fans anyway. So this is just for this particular version, the King 65 Pro. If you've got the 95, then it's a different case. Different fans, same chassis, same layout, so some of the same restrictions apply for the mesh style, etc. But in terms of the fans, like I said, you can overcome some of these restrictions by changing fans, which they clearly did. Semrab says, it would be interesting to compare airflow with decent fans like TT. That's true. Dave says, you should have used the fans from the 903 Max. Those things were jet engines. Well, funny enough, I have got the fans from the 903 Max, and also I've got some Thermaltake fans in there. So, what time is it? We're not doing too bad for time at the moment, so if you're interested, I can swap those fans out quickly and we'll see how the others perform. If that's something you'd be interested in. I kind of think I want to see it anyway, but I want to see what you lot feel anyway. So, O'Reilly says yes, Dave says yes, Aletta says yes, Rick says yes, Jason says yes, Firestorm says yep, Semrab says please do Mike, Swap the Fan says Welly Bob. I think it's relatively unanimous at this point that we're going to be doing this. Ashley says yep, Dave says swap the mofos, go for it. O'Reilly said 20 quid, swap the fans. In that case, we have no choice because we are ruled by the almighty pound. Thank you, O'Reilly. I need to click on something.
I've got cats on my feet.
Thank you very much. O'Reilly says swap the fans. CMCB says yes, yes. Mark Barry says swap. Zero Defect says nah. Rick says money talks. It certainly does. Voting to stop Mike going to bed. Dave, thank you. Okay, all right. I think
remember, I've still got to get up tomorrow. Even if
Kath has got to get up tomorrow. It's lucky it's only just gone 10 o'clock, so we're not doing too bad for time. I'm just going to try not to kill myself on this chair. That's funny. Siri says I said fuck you. I didn't. That's why she said I'm not going to respond to that. It's like, oh, well, that's fantastic. Look at this. It's almost like I had this planned. I honestly didn't. Trust me. Kath will vouch that I am not a planner.
You're not a planner?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right. Alessa says it's only 5 PM there. Fan dabby dozy. Yeah, Kath got up early. She's tired, bless her. Right,
oh, you need that wool, I suppose, for those others. Good boy, Davey.
What's he done? Using the scratching post?
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of my legs.
Let's put the other camera on. We'll go for the overhead view. So I'm getting the sweaty ass sat on that chair. It's like I've been on poppers all night or something.
Might be working nights and not going to bed anyway.
Yay. Working hard or hardly working?
He's okay. Can you? I can't really pronounce that name.
Which one? His okay oldie thing. Hi, any idea how to fix my PC? My motherboard keeps flashing, the bars flash back and won't turn on. Yes, join our Discord. Let me give you a link there, which hopefully is going to work. It looks like it does. So yeah, have a mosey on down to our Discord.
It doesn't come out as a link, whatever you've put in there.
Oh, does it not?
No.
Join our Discord chat, discord.gg. Oh, it's because it hasn't got HTTP. All right, Kath will put the link in. I think, how does that come out of there? Is that meant to come out? I'm guessing not then.
Good game, Discord.
GG. Right, so that doesn't work. I thought that was going to come out of there.
Is it an idea to put the side fans on the exhaust and the top fans on the outlet inlet?
Hang on, what was that? Let me get my head around that. What?
Is it an idea
Yeah.
to put the side fans on the exhaust?
Side fans.
Fans
Oh, right, yeah.
Inlet?
Well, there's only one top van. So, yeah, you could do, but it would look a bit weird. If I'm understanding that right. Oh. Oh well. I think we've worked out how that comes out now. Oh dear. Oh, I forgot these bloody things are all cable tied in as well. Sheet.
By you?
No, funny enough, by Montech. They cable tied all the fans in. There's only a couple of cable tie points to be fair, so. Snip. And oh, that one's a little bit close to some of the other cableage, so I don't want to destroy it.
Chop.
Yeah, need a snip chop. Oh, I lost a little tip of my finger then. Huh. I have no idea how this is going to go back together, to be honest. Ah, those bits should have just popped out anyway. I didn't need to take that out. Right, I'm going to put that back in before I lose the screw for it. Shut up, Dave. David. David. David.
Dave.
You can't already see this, can you, on the camera? Sorry.
What are you doing? Okay. Good boy. Can I have some food oats?
Right, looks like this goes in pin first there, at the bottom.
Has Candy gone to bed?
Yeah. So yeah, that goes in there. Ah, that's what that bit that fell out was.
That crucial bit that you need.
The pin that holds this in place. That is what it was. Right, yeah, when I did the review of this, something fell out. And I had no idea what it was. And it turns out it is, yeah, it's that. The pin that holds that in there. So that is how you remove it.
So what did you do with the bit that fell out?
I think I put it in the bag.
I put it somewhere safe.
I put it somewhere safe.
That's the bag.
And I said at the time, I'm going to put it somewhere safe and I will lose it.
Bag.
Yeah. Did I put it in there?
Bag it. You don't plan things.
No, I don't. You're right. No, I can't see it in there. I probably threw it out. It's probably in my jean pocket somewhere.
It's probably in the washing machine amongst all those balls that escaped.
I'm going to have a fiddle in my jeans pocket for a bit and see if I can find anything.
I reckon you'll have 40 quid's worth of fluff.
Oh, trying to get the zips off there. Obviously, when I put this back together, there's no way on God's green shiny earth that I'm going to be doing that again and putting those cables in tight. To be honest with you, actually, if those other fans are better... Oh no, they're black, aren't they? Shit.
He's working
Shit.
with spinning fans that could slice appendage and no safety lines.
We don't need safety lines where we're going.
Stick your finger in on show. Are they painful?
Yeah, they're bloody useless. Look, I could put my todger in there and I would just get aroused more than anything. I think that's what they should sell those fans for, like knob ticklers.
Do it, do it.
That is what they are. You honestly, you could dangle your sack over these and it'll be like, ooh, lovely. Sorry, Charles. It's been a long day. Look, how many fans do you know, 140 mils, where you can just stick your fingers in like that?
You told you would never reach that far.
Yeah. Unless it says it's right to use black fans, we don't discriminate. That is true. Although I do get intimidated by big black fans.
What about as a cheese grater?
Cheese grater would be lucky to grate air. Jeez.
Members only video exclusive.
This will be on the OnlyFans page. Oh dear. Right. For some reason those fans don't appear to have... Oh, there they have. I'll say they haven't fallen all the way out, but they certainly have now, Michael. Right, so let's just unplug his VU. It's actually quite a nice little wiring setup here to keep the wires tidy.
Sure you can get around it though.
But I'm sure we can get around it, yes. Knob ticklers. That's what you want, Sky. If I could patent it, I would. Montech knob tickler. For the PC gaming enthusiast who likes to have a little tickle whilst he's playing Fortnite.
I, for one, do not want to see Mike teabagging the fan.
I, for one, don't want to be the one teabagging the fans. Let's be fair. Right.
They might reach the fan at your age.
Now, yeah. Being that, oh, I've reached the bag. Being that these are Montech, they probably don't work very well. So let me just check if the RGB works. Not that it really makes a bit of difference in this particular scenario,
David
but...
Thompson wants to know, when can we get a mum
Oh, yeah,
dangle
they
your
look
sack
alright.
t-shirt?
Dangle your sack, boys. Sorry, Otis.
What's in Mike's tea tonight? Chicory.
Chicory root mostly. It's because I've missed you guys and like I'm just sat here all day answering questions to YouTube nerds. Sometimes I just need to let loose a little bit, I think.
Good night, Opal.
Right, These aren't going to be in exactly the same place as the other ones, but for all intents and purposes, they're going to be okay. I'm just putting it around this side, so it's just a little bit easier for me to do a bit of cable management.
Around it.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to angle them or move them so they are optimally placed.
So these going to be particular as well?
Oh, and I've just realised, why has no one told me I put it in the wrong way? You know what white Americans do for Martin Luther King? Oh, I'm not going to... I don't think I should even ask or answer that, should I?
Might some bollocking. Fitbit video's about to get beaten in terms of views. Live teabag challenge.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I did a short earlier about why we have to use FAT32 for BIOS flash. And yeah, that video seems to be doing really, really well. That is up until the point that that shithead Brytech copies it and does it. Bastard. I did say that out loud, you're absolutely right. Kathy looked shocked when I said that. Hey, if there's an original idea on YouTube, he's sure to copy it. Oh dear, just letting it all hang out tonight. Yeah, I do. I have done videos in the past just to see if he does copy them, knowing that they're absolute turd videos.
Mike's filter is off.
My filter is broken. I do get to times like this where I just give up and just like I don't care anymore. I really don't.
Don't give up. You just think.
Yeah, multiple Fs are not being given. Right.
Will he teabag his fans if you do?
Yeah. Probably. Well, he said, this is a long time ago, but he did say to his community that he would do a face reveal at 1 million subs, and he's about 100,000 off. So, you know,
Say that at 500,000.
you never know. Well, he did say face reveal at 1 million subs. I don't think he will, personally.
David Underhill's back, just done some mowing. He's missed all the fun.
Oh, Dave, you missed it. I put my nuts in the blender of the fans.
Fan and bagging.
You haven't tested a fan until you've seen if it can destroy your sack. I am going to say something regrettable, aren't I? In this, I think.
You heard it here first, Mike and Brytech are the same person.
We are. If I could do Cockney's, I would be, yeah. You wouldn't be able to tell us apart. Oh, I forgot I had all that plugged in still. I didn't really, I knew. I was just joking. Right, I'm going to plug the RGB in because it ain't a proper test if the RGB's not on. And my initial thoughts are that this isn't actually much better. Oh. That's fine. Oh, fuck off. Right, that one's...
Enjoying month 2 of David's calendar.
Yeah, we're at Clifton Safe... Look, Clifton Post Office, aren't we, at the moment? Is that what's on there? I did look at that the other day.
Yeah.
Clifton Post Office is where we're looking at the moment. Yeah, this is the one, look.
I mean, it's on Edward Street.
We've got a broken fan.
Oh, I got broken notice.
Oh.
Hartford's heard that Brytech is a dead ringer for Arnold Vosloo.
Right, I got to be honest, actually, those fans don't seem to be doing a great deal.
Where's Rasher tonight? I've been thinking that.
Rasher, he's gone to a comedy club.
He wouldn't get comedy on every broadcast to a fan, no, would he? He's still got some skin in there.
Yeah, I think I've left my chap in there.
doing? It's scaring poor O'Tools.
Fixed it. Sort of. Right then. Full speed. Ahead.
Making that noise.
This ain't broken.
I thought you said you fixed it.
Yeah, I lied about it.
Broke.
It's the blades aren't designed to be that close. There we go. It's because even though you can put in normal fan blades, it's not designed for it. So, what have we got? What's the scores on the doors? Hey, we got, this is on the fastest speed, and I think it's actually worse. Oh dear. Where's the side panel bit gone? The glass bit. Where did I put that? Oh, it is there, it's on. Couldn't see it, it's clear. Oh dear. Right, let's move that to make sure we are getting the correct reading. Yeah, so in the meters per second, we are at 0.8.
Do you think the fan hub is not pushing enough juice for them? Is there a defect? Is that?
That is a distinct possibility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect one of the fans, which hopefully is going to be the right one, yes. And I'm going to plug this directly into the fan controller.
They sound louder.
And that is it, full blast. Yeah, 0.0. They're not actually pushing a lot of air. There is a lot of restriction on there because of that metal. That is the biggest problem with that. Actually, I know how I can actually demonstrate that. So if I loosen the fan off altogether and try not to get my fingers stuck in the damn thing, which would be hilarious. Ooh. Oh, fucking hell. Shit. Hey, we're having all sorts of fun tonight, aren't we? This is great stuff. Hey, we should do this every Saturday. Right. So now with the... Oh, Christ, this is dangerous. With the fan actually pulled out of the frame. Oh my goodness gracious.
It's okay, Otis.
Look at that wobbling. I've ruined that now. Right, let's just hold that in place. Yeah, there we go. So I've pulled it back from the actual metal frame, and straight away we've almost doubled the performance. So 1.3, 1.4 meters per second. And in terms of miles per hour, I'm guessing we're going to be...
But aren't they a little bit nearer to it now as well?
It is slightly nearer, but that didn't make a difference before.
Did it not?
Miles per hour, yeah, now we're getting a much better, what's that, 2.9, 3 miles an hour. So that is an improvement up from, what, 2.2 previously?
Sounds a bit louder, no, a bit stronger now. Might do more than tickle your todger now.
I think it would destroy the Todger now. Yeah, so because the blades are designed to, like, if you look at how a blade works, so look at the blade, right? The pointed bit there is what pierces through the air, and it scoops the air here at the outer edge, the leading edge. So because in the actual system or in the thing, it's like that, holding it in, there's only that bit and that bit at the top and bottom which can actually scoop in any air.
So it is the case.
So it is the case, it's not the fans.
Crypto guesses that you're going to be sewing a finger on back on at this rate.
You never know.
Dave Aiken asks, can you check a 120 mil on that frame?
Hun-
Less of the fan blocked off.
Yeah, I think 120 would actually be okay. Let's try that. I'm open for trying things. A 120 in general will probably have better static pressure anyway, because the rigidity of the blades over the shorter area.
But will it tickle it as well?
Actually, let's try. We got a. Oh no, I've got a P12 silent there, but that's probably not a great one to do. Ooh, I know what I've got somewhere. over the
Right, what
rainbow.
would happen if you 3D printed some spacers?
That would improve it. Yeah, definitely. If you wanted to improve it, 3D spacers would certainly be a good way of doing that. You wouldn't need to have a great deal of space either. It doesn't need a massive amount.
So how much was this case?
£42 I paid.
How much is a 3D printer?
£150.
And how much is the spool?
Pence. It's very, very, very cheap. Very, very, very cheap.
About 200 quid and you would have a case that's...
200 quid and you could have a case which is almost as good as the Series 500. But still not.
We have to put that up a bit higher so it's at the right height for that air thing.
Bob Fleming. Oh yeah, I was going to put it... Oof. No.
I could feel that air.
Could you? Yeah. These things are insane. These are definitely not ball ticklers.
What about they're not the 200 mil?
I could probably hammer it in enough to make it fit. I think that would probably ruin our demonstration. Actually, saying that, with the 120 in there, there is actually still quite a bit of restriction. Yeah, that's what it needs, really. To dremel the bejesus out of it.
Unless it's got some 3000 RPM fans, you don't want to get your fingers near.
Yeah, I think these are not far off that. They sound quite evil.
So this case is not worth €80.
No, I'm afraid not.
I think it will still move more air. Well, you can see the box air dripping in. See?
Yeah, it's almost blowing that over. 4.7, yeah, 4.4 to 4.7 miles per hour.
In real life, I can't see that box. Where is it?
So that is incredible. Oh, is it not showing? Let's see if I can. Can I angle that? Can you see that? It's on a really weird angle. Oh, I know what I should have done. I'll plug that into the fan controller down here, and we can try it on the slower speeds and the higher speeds.
Ball ticklers, ball scratcher, or is it choppers?
Right, that is on the lowest possible speed. Well, the back one isn't.
You probably need similar RPM fans for a fair test.
Well, this is at the lowest RPM, which is about 500 on these. And we're getting 2.2 miles per hour, which, if you remember rightly, is what we had on the 140 mils at the highest speed. So these fans at like 1600 RPM are doing the same as the Arctic 120s at, I think 500 is the lowest. Does it say on the box? Where's the box? These are the P10 Pros. Yes, it does say on the box, actually. PWM. Can't see. Oh, 400 to 3000 these are.
So it's only 400 then.
So this is at 400 RPM currently, and still doing better than the Montechs did. So, if you want this case to perform well, essentially what you need to do is to invest £25, roughly, in a pack of 3 of those, or get 2, yeah, it's got to be 120s really. So get the Arctic P120 Pros in there, or normal ones, and it will be considerably better.
Question.
Yes. Right, I'm going to have a slurp of my drink a minute, so you feel free to suggest things to throw my todger into. David Underhill is absolutely right there. What it needs is a standard fan mounting, not stupid ones. 100%. Terzel dozen or whatever that is. T0 Rosen.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I have no idea how you pronounce that, but I hope I've not butchered it too much. Can I ask, should I update my BIOS without a USB flash drive? I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure how you would do it without one. Because normally you do need it on a USB stick. You can update your BIOS by putting it onto like the root of your C drive and some things and updating it that way. So yeah,
it's working and they do it.
if your system's working, yeah, you can update it from the BIOS, from the C drive sometimes. The problem is you can only update your BIOS from inside the BIOS using a USB drive. Now the reason for that is basically the short that I did today. So as standard, the file system for your BIOS will only recognise or be able to write to either FAT or FAT32 file systems.
Big meeting says you can use MSI Center gigabyte flash software.
Yeah, if you do it through Windows, you can do it from the hard drive. But if you're updating the BIOS from actually inside the BIOS, because you haven't got a working Windows, then it has to be from a USB FAT32 USB stick. Some you can get with NTFS, there's very, very few. Right, let's crank out those fans again. Mother of Jesus.
No suggestions where to put your toilet pot in your tea.
Woo. Now that is moving some serious air, but you wouldn't be able to live with that, would you? Where do we get to a nice pitch? About there. And that's moving just over about 2.7 miles per hour. A decent amount of air. And if you add multiple of them, then obviously that is going to improve it somewhat. So yeah, that pretty much answers the question. The problem with this case is the fan mountings, which I don't think really, to be honest with you, is any surprise to anybody. It's just a really, really bad designed frame. And again, you could overlook it if the rest of the mountings, like top and bottom, were nice and open, but they're not. They're restrictive as all hell because of that circular mesh, which I dislike immensely. Anyway, oh, that's still running. Keep on running. Right, let's pat that away. So, any other questions on this this case, or are we done? I think we're done. Are we there yet? Oh, come on. Oh. I do know that Arctic do some great stuff, but packaging really isn't one of them. Arctic's packaging is designed like single use, pretty much, because it's all just recyclable cardboard, which is great, as long as you're not an unboxer or a reboxer. And that won't go back in there. Oh yeah, there's horrible. How am I supposed to do B-roll shots of this box now I've wrecked it? Right, let's forget we saw that. Put that back up there. Right, I got to try and get this back into some state of normality now. Aletta's ready for dinner. She's got a big old steak and a baked potato. You say potato, I say potato. Which nobody said ever.
How far could you throw it out the back door?
What, the fans or the case? Or all of the above? Ooh, I don't know. I'd be surprised if I could get it to the end of the garden.
I'm sorry you get over the doorstep.
Hurtful,
No offence.
however accurate.
You did nearly drop it twice getting the box last
Actually,
time.
yeah, I was just thinking about how heavy it is, yeah. No, because of how heavy it is,
The garden, what are you thinking?
I think I'd be lucky to get it
Over the doorstep.
over my armpit. Right, so I'm going to reinstate the normal stock fans, just because that well, I don't know why I want to do that really, and I can see through the case. So let's take some questions. Or
That might be able to hit the end of the garden.
why are you so horrible?
I'm not horrible, that's funny. That's like miles with that heavy case.
I know.
Oh.
I misstuck.
If it was a hammer or something, I could get that. Not that case.
Not this case. Right, where did that go through there?
What about fans in the bottom of the case for intake?
Fans in the bottom of the case, again, if you've got really good fans, like high static pressure ones, you would have a fighting chance, but the circular mesh is never a good idea. There's been loads of cases, and in fact, even like some of my favourite brands, like Thermaltake, for example, they've done a few cases recently where they've kind of gone away from their traditional hexagonal mesh or the kind of Darth Vader's bathroom type mesh, and well, I won't say I've called them out on it, but I've kind of objected to it because I don't think it's a good idea.
Use the original fans on the panel you removed.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, but that would look really weird. It would work.
What's that panel for?
Well, that panel is so you can have fans, because the 95, that the fans are going there, and that bit where the fans are now swivels out, so it's on the front. So that's like your alternate fan mounting location, which it probably would work much better there, but then it's going to look really weirdly offset.
So it's not like a picture frame for the fans that are there now?
No, not quite.
But is that what it would look like in there?
Yeah, sort of. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Anyway, let's get this back together. I think I've proved my point.
Aletta remembers the time that Tech Jesus reviewed case by taking it outside and tossing it in a garbage can.
Maybe that is something which I will need to do to live up to my Tech Kojak moniker. And that's not like moniker as in the Lewinsky, her of cigar fame. Right, that works. Good. Let's leave that in that position. What other questions have we got there? Forklift? Yeah, get a forklift. What else do we get? Darth Vader's bathroom mesh. Yeah, this case has got it. The Thermaltake has the Darth Vader's bathroom. Actually, I can probably... Oh, yeah. Like on this power supply. So it's like elongated slats or slits, which are broken up. They're a little bit wider on the cases, but that sort of design, I actually really like that. And if you look at Darth Vader's toilet in Star Wars, or his little home thing, and a lot of the Death Star battle, Death Star, and I think a lot of the Imperial stuff, lots of long slits for ventilation. Sometimes like full length, otherwise broke up as well. But just always reminds me of like Darth Vader's bathroom for some reason. Sky says, oh, okay, I know what you're thinking of. Too funny. It's not supposed to be funny, it's fact.
Can you tell Crypto that he should be able to post pictures now?
Crypto, you should be able to post pictures in the Discord now. Kath has just authorised me to say. Or asked me to say, I should say. Where do these go through? Right there. So yeah, this is this whole case fan mounting situation has just made it bad. Thanks, our Portier. Thanks for stopping by. You are appreciated, as of all of you. I know some of you will be like, oh, you didn't mention me. We love you all a little bit.
Keep it underhill. I don't use self-checkout at the supermarket because I don't have a forklift license. Start doing your own checkout. Next step is unloading the trucks with the forklift.
Yep.
Next, and then load the shelves yourself.
Stack the shelves, yeah.
We were saying
We
today,
have done that before, though, haven't we? We have gone in and stacked shelves just ourselves, just for the hell of it, almost. I quite often go in and face shelves up because of my retail history. I can't help it. Sometimes I just got to pull shelves forward.
See, because I was a housewife, I go along the top of pictures in supermarkets, and on their
Yeah, get the dust.
Cleanliness award, there was a thick amount of dust,
There,
which
yeah.
I found quite ironic. But that was in Tesco, name and shame. But we were counting up all the jobs that we do that people used to get paid for before. Like we're the electric and gas meter readers. Bank clerk. What else was it? We were going through loads, weren't we?
Yeah, we do
All
loads.
this
Yeah, we're refuge sorters.
Oh, sick. All this stuff, and we pay more for people to do, but we're doing it all ourselves.
Sucks. So the I didn't show you this actually earlier, did I? This is the fan hub and the RGB hub. So you've got the RGB along the top. All of the pins are exposed, which is a little bit nice if you like catching things on fire. I'm not really a big fan of that. I prefer those to be enclosed in something, but I suppose that you've got a fan hub, so it's fine.
What is it now?
How hot it is? 23.5 degrees Celsius and less 2% humidity. So as the humidity comes down, it should feel cooler.
Cooler?
Yeah, because humidity
so
makes you feel like sweaty, doesn't it? The lower the humidity, the drier it is.
Going up higher.
No, it's getting drier.
Oh, I thought you said it was 60 something.
It was 69 before, it's now 60. Oh, it's gone up to 68.
I thought you said
It's
70.
minuscule differences. So yeah, these cables, I'm not going to bother doing too much to them now. I'm just gonna stick them in the side there. That'll be absolutely fine. It's not as if they're spinning fast enough to damage the cables, is it? Well, they are, but it wouldn't. That one's plugged in. So yeah, the PWM signal comes from the back fan. I thought I'd do it from the back fan, just seemed to make sense. I don't know why. I do need to take that power supply out of there, but I'm not going to at the moment. I think I'll leave it in there. Kath's gone to sleep. Are you dead?
No, I'm just resting.
She's resting her eyes. That's good. Right.
Leave it on my keyboard.
I will. Yeah. The fan hub plugs into the PWM and ARGB, as shown there. Again, if you want to see the review of this case when it comes out, it will be coming out shortly.
Oh, do you want to let your mother in? Come on, Pops.
Oh, I've lost the bloody screws for that now.
Window open.
Fucking hell.
Come on.
Right, this goes in that way round. So
Night flame.
that bit goes in the bottom first of all, which I think is where one of my missing pieces of metal kind of appeared from.
Right.
So it did get a little bit banged around in transportation, I'll be honest with you, which was evident because Montech, in some of their cases, this one especially, they didn't use any of that nice, like real, is it cellular foam? The stuff that sort of is really strong but moves, is like a little bit flexible. They didn't use any of that. They used the traditional kind of polystyrene, which just falls apart. Pops. So yeah, they just used that. So some of the polystyrene in the box was actually damaged. I had to put like tape around it to put it back together. So clearly at some point this has had a bit of a ding, but I guess it kind of is what it is. And I've got a sneaking suspicion that screw that I've put in there is the wrong one, because that one is just kind of spinning around in there a bit, but whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Nobody really cares. So, any questions about the King 65 Pro, and does anybody want to buy one? And if they do, I will throw in the other Montech fans with it.
The hammer ones.
The ones that I haven't taken a hammer to at all. Much. It is actually quite warm in here now, isn't it? It feels like it's getting really humid. I thought it was just me being old man. Sweaty old man. Kind of was. It's funny, Antec and Montech got the same logo, almost. They sound the same, don't they? You'd always think that Montech was like a cheap spin-off of Antec. Oh, I'll put it in the back there. I was just thinking I could put the Montech, Brightech, yeah. They're all the same. Cheap copies. Oh dear. Please feel free to forward this on to Brian. He knows me well enough by now. It's called having a sense of humour. If we can't laugh at ourselves, who can we laugh at, eh? The thing is as well, if you actually have a laugh and a joke or a little bit like, not nasty, but you know, have a laugh with your friends and stuff, those are the people that you know are your friends, because you can have a laugh with them. If someone you're talking to, or they're not friendly to you, or they don't give you the banter, they genuinely don't like you.
And Barefoot Tech, another one.
Barefoot Tech, who's that?
David Underhill.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. I was thinking, what's that related to Brian? I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I think Barefoot Tech, I think he got there first. I think he's been having that name for a long, long time. There we go. Oh, let's do the screw. It has got captive screws on there, which actually do fit on really well. They're really nice. It's a shame there isn't one on the front panel, because it is almost keen to kind of commit Harry-Carry or whatever it is. Is that a thing? Hopefully that's not some sort of slur I've said then. If it is, I do apologise. I didn't know any better. I was poorly educated at Downend Comprehensive School. The bastards. They are fuckwits there. And they produced a lot of fuckwits. And half of them went into politics.
Who's that?
Savage Javid, wasn't it? When he goes to Downend? Is that the one? There was one of the politicians who went to Downend School and we can never trace him. There's other politicians as well, I expect. Thank you, R. Portier, for €22. That's very kind of you. For sending in a super sticker. Oh, there's no thing on there for me to click on heart or nothing. How can I not do that? It's grayed out. Oh, well, thank you very much. That is very much appreciated. What's that there? Oh, so I was trying to work out what that picture was in your profile.
I think that's a sticker.
It's a fox, isn't it? Is that a fox? It looks like a fox.
Oh yeah, it is a fox.
What the fox is it? Barefoot Tech was registered 1st of July 2024. 2004, sorry. Excellent stuff. Whew. A letter says it was minus 27 degrees Celsius here. Mother of God. That's horrendous.
Jason Westway says it's me, it's a wolf. But you're talking to our portier, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Jason Westway's got a wolf as well. There you go. Charles says, I can laugh at a bold git that puts his todger or his sack in the fan. Oh. I'm glad to be of use.
Should we give away some?
Yeah, let's give away some memberships so you can watch some videos early on the Mike's Unboxing channel. Because I think we've got a few to give away. Let's have a look there.
There we go.
Alien Software, my first company registered in 1978. Wow. So there we go. Lead Farmer has been given a gift membership. Nice one, Lead Farmer. Lead Farmer is awesome tech on our Discord, so that's great. Crypto KJ also received gift membership. David's Drones Adventures. He's pretty cool as well. Darren C. Darren C. I think I know Darren C. It's great to see these names, I know. And Matthew Day was also received a gift membership. Matthew is also a member of our experts on Discord as well, so that's pretty cool. Dave says, time for a new phrase, when the sack hits the fan. That should definitely be on a t-shirt. I'm not too sure how I'd get around getting it printed by a print company.
I'd have to crochet some. I can't crochet a t-shirt for a man.
Yeah, we can have that. Like Buster Gonad sitting on a P120.
What was I thinking?
Lead Farmer says, Mike, we need to get you a programmer to try to flashback failing. The thing is, the only time I would ever use a programmer would be when I get a bad board. But generally, if I get a bad board, because I've normally just bought it, I generally would just return them to get a replacement rather than going through that. It's very rare that I get someone actually physically turn up here at the house and have a bad board or a bad flash. Like, yeah, we hear about it on Discord all the time. And maybe I could do mail-in repairs, but then I don't know if I really want to get involved in that sort of thing. It might be kind of cool to be able to do that, so people can send in their motherboards for a BIOS flash repair, but I don't know whether or not I could charge enough for it to actually make it worth the time and effort of doing the flash, learning how to do it, and then also like going to the post office, sending it, all the risks of insurance and sending it and stuff. I don't know whether it would be worth it. I would love to do it if I had the time. If I had another pair of hands, or there was like 3 of me, it would be great. I'd love to learn to do stuff like that, but I don't know whether or not it would be something which I could invest in that would make sense, or that I would know enough about to feel confident to do for other people at this time. It looks pretty straightforward and reasonably logical, but yeah, that doesn't always go hand in hand. But maybe, I don't know. I'm definitely going to look into it, and if the situation arises, I will just order the bits and do it and surprise you all. Well, probably won't surprise Lead Farmer, because I'll probably be pestering, how do I do this? David Underhill says, Mike, I have a programmer and still usually don't bother using for motherboards. Cheaper and quicker, just replacing the motherboard. Yeah, that's kind of where it is at, yeah. And like Lead Farmer says, if someone donates a board to you and you flash it, it's fixed. There is that to it. Thing is, most motherboards these days, I would say the biggest problem with boards these days is the pins. And if there was a nice way or a reliable way of changing AM5 sockets on motherboards, that's something I wouldn't mind getting into, because I'd just buy loads of boards off eBay and just do loads of them and then just resell them. Because eBay is absolutely littered with AM5 boards with bent pins. There's thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them. They're everywhere and really, really cheap prices. So I've never looked at a video doing it. I don't even know if it's something which the kind of consumer level thing could actually replace a socket. It probably requires a lot of tools and specialized equipment. Lead Farmer says, AM5 socket replacement is hard. Check out the Black Horse repair videos. I will have a look. Excellent stuff. Right, I think we've probably exhausted the conversation for tonight, and hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. I've actually enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun, and hopefully you have too. I was feeling really unwell at the beginning, but I seem to have got through it with the talk of putting my balls into a fan, which should be a wake-up call to most people, to be fair, so it probably worked out quite well. Massive, massive shout out to all of you that have helped support us financially, and also a massive shout out to all of you that have supported us in other ways, such as watching the videos to the end, leaving a like on a video, leaving a comment on a video, whether it be good, bad, indifferent, or just supportive. That's what we're looking for. I nearly said suspicious, but no, supportive is what they are. So yeah, we massively appreciate you all doing it. Again, I know the PC market is pretty knackered at the moment, and a lot of us are feeling quite dejected about it because there doesn't seem to be a lot of hope on the horizon at the moment, which is a bit of a downer. But I think realistically for a lot of us now, it's now that we can't really build new systems, there's certainly opportunities to improve the existing systems we've got. So whether it be swapping out some fans, whether it be a new AIO, whether it's a new case, upgraded power supply, those types of things, which are almost cosmetic changes, but also the sort of things which make you feel a lot more happy with your rig. So if there's any of you out there which you are looking at doing upgrades and you're not really too sure, then yeah, drop me a line, leave a comment on a video and just say like, this is what I've got, what do you suggest? What can I upgrade? We have got some videos coming out shortly on a range of power supplies to suit pretty much most budgets. I think that'd be quite interesting because I think power supplies at the moment is a good one to be into because it's a great investment because you're going to save money if you get a decent power supply. You also potentially have a more reliable system, which is excellent. And they're generally a lot more flexible and a little bit more future-proof, which is, again, really good. And they're quite good value at the moment because people aren't building PCs. So those sorts of things are getting cheaper because they're just not selling. They need to clear them through. So we'll have some videos on that. I am Raj D. How you doing? I am Raj D. He's been a member for 18 months now. Thank you for helping support the channel. Much appreciated. And thank you, I should say as well, massive shout out to Jason. You know who you are. He supported us now on YouTube members and also on Patreon. You don't need to do both, but for those of you that do, it's massively appreciated. Ideally, if you're going to support us, Patreon is the way to go in terms of for us for getting funds back, because Patreon takes 5%, whereas YouTube takes 30%. So yeah, if you want the money to go to us, then that's the way to do it. But I know that for YouTube, for membership, etc., for some of you prefer it because you can see the videos early, which again is great, fantastic. However you want to help, that is brilliant. And we are always, every day, pretty much, Kath and I kind of wake up in the morning or pinch ourselves to work out where we actually are. And it's thanks to people like you. So we are, again, massively appreciative. David Underhill also been a member for 27 months. Wow. And there's some of you that, as well that have been around since the beginning, such as people like Skystalker, Aletta. They were in like the very, very early days of the channel. There's probably one or two others as well, but obviously Aletta and Sky, almost from kind of day one of us doing the live streams, I think. Very, very early. Yeah, you're all fantastic. We love you. You're great. And hopefully, all being well, we'll see you again at the same time next Saturday. Potentially, we might try and start a little bit earlier. I'm not too sure how that is going to be. It might make more sense for us because, yeah, it does run into the night quite late. So Cap's got to do stuff on Sunday. So unfortunately, it's bad for her. But maybe if we can start the stream maybe an hour or two earlier, let me know in the comments your thoughts, or if you've got strong thoughts, maybe send us an email, whatever. Anyway, Dave's been a Patreon member since 2020, July 2020 as well. Yeah, Dave's been around for a very long. The 2019-2020 boom was massive. It was massive, and yeah, we are very thankful. If I've missed anyone's name out, it's not anything personal. It's just
Patrick LaBelle's been a long time as well.
Oh yeah, Patrick LaBelle, long time as well.
There's lots.
Yeah, there are lots of you. We've got 150,000 plus subscribers, so there's going to be a few of you that I've probably missed out. I do apologise.
I've been a subscriber since before it was even public.
Yeah, Kath was a subscriber when it was just a couple of George's Lego videos on there, which are private. You can't see him. Anyway.
I can.
Oh, and there goes Raleigh. He's been a member now for 48 months. Wow.
Oh, I better do the light, haven't I?
That is a whole 4 years. Thank you very much. Jason's been a member of Patreon since the 2nd of February. He's a newcomer, but you're all very, very welcome. He didn't get...
Oh, I didn't put a sticker on. It's all right.
I'll leave it on anyway. Charles Ballard's a Johnny come lately. I've only been here for about 2 years. Hey, and we appreciate all of you sticking around. We really do, especially through the tougher times because it sucks. I know.
And the pigeons that Charles brings.
And yeah, Charles and his pigeons. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap things up. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, smash the like button as usual. Have a great rest of your weekend. Again, thank you all so much for your continued support and sticking with us. Really is appreciated. And There's going to be more short videos. I'm not sure if you're into them, but if you are, there's going to be lots more short videos just to try and generate a bit of interest and do something a bit different because it gets a bit monotonous. So just trying some new different things, different formats. I did a video with just a voiceover, almost like kind of Brightech style. Not that sort of video, but you know, my style of video, but a voiceover. Anyway, that's enough Brightech bashing for one night. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Have a great weekend and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.